agreement that emails are the most annoying thing possible?
I hate
God,
emails.
I hate them. I literally have 20,000 in my inbox
How many email accounts do you have though?
that I use.
That you just constantly have buzzing at you.
Oh,
Like I get okay, so the ones that you use. So obviously you have
Two.
one. You just
Two.
use
I have,
two,
like,
I only use
6.
2, but I have like 6. Yeah.
and they're all buzzing. So like what are
Yeah.
what's the differentiation of? I only want to use the first two. The next four are spam.
They're
ones.
silent. Yeah.
What do you give those out for?
Coupons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are like quick sign up shits that I never go to. You know, and also they're emails that I made when I needed like a new Instagram page.
But I get stuff on like hot Asians and like all this porno.
Whoa!
And I am not about
This is true.
that.
This
It's
is
a
true.
family
I
show.
am not about that.
Yeah, no, I've definitely gotten some interesting emails, and I definitely didn't sign up for that spam mail. Yeah,
No,
some things have definitely crossed my page, and I'm at Thanksgiving dinner, and Mom overlooks my show. She's like, "What the fuck are you looking at, man? No, stop it! Even if I was into it, just ignore it. Mind your own
This is a
goddamn business."
judgment-free zone, okay?
It's supposed to be a judgment-free zone,
It's supposed to be like Planet Fitness, but it's not because it's mirrors everywhere.
bro. Bevs promised me that it was a judgment-free zone when I signed up. That is incorrect. Steve judges me every second I walk. Yo, Steve, I love you, Steve. Yeah, every second I walk in, he's like, yo, Nick, don't be pulling any shit, man.
Look, that's different.
That's
That's
like-
different. There's a relationship.
Did I tell you what happened? All right, so I shot at Bev's 2 weeks ago. I shot at Bev's 2 weeks ago, and it was for a clothing company that I'm very close with, Avenge Fitness. Teresa, love you guys. And Teresa kind of told me a little bit of what we were going to shoot, but she didn't really give me the down low. So I asked her the day before. Now, as a videographer, you can understand this. And it's nothing against you, Teresa. It's just what we deal with. As a videographer, I know you can understand this. So I hit her up the day before. I said, hey, what are we shooting? And she was busy all day. So I never got an answer, which is okay. It happens.
Yeah.
Shit happens. I get it. Then I hit her up the next day. I said, hey, what are we shooting? And it was like an hour later. She's like, hey, I just got to Bev's. I'm like, okay. So what are we? So now she's got 2 athletes on Long Island. So I figured she was probably just having me take some photos of them in the clothing,
Right.
whatever, this and that. So I go, okay, what are we doing? She goes, oh, just some social videos, this and that. Fine, totally fine. I get to Bev's and I walk in and she had 8 models
Oh my god.
and containers of clothing. Now, in all fairness, she asked me if we should ask Steve if it was cool to shoot there.
Of course, yeah.
But I thought that it was only 2 athletes.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was going to be more than that, and I didn't know there was going to be a lot of clothing. So I walk in, I look around, and I just went, oh, fuck, man.
Not good.
I'm like,
Not good.
Steve's going to hate this, man. And I walk in, I look at Teresa, I say, hey to everybody, whatever, and just that. And then I'm walking to Steve's office because I just
You
want
have to say, yeah.
I want to talk to him before.
There's no way.
And as I'm walking to his office, Jimmy walks out. He goes, Steve wants to talk to you. I go, fuck. I was like, damn it. He got it to me first. So I walked in and he was flipping a little bit. He was like, what the fuck's going on? I said, listen, Steve, you know I'd never disrespect you, man. I promise I would never I swear to God. You know I love you all these years. I would never do anything like that. I said, is it cool if we stay? He's like, yeah, it's fine. He goes, you just got to let me know. I said, I promise I would have let you know if I knew.
Of course,
Then Teresa
yeah.
came in. She talked to him. Everything was cool. But he had that flip out moment where Steve starts yelling and you just go like this.
Yeah.
Oh.
What's gonna happen?
Oh, please don't hurt me. I'm delicate. So you've shot, I mean, how many times you shot at
Oh,
Bev's?
dude, all the time.
And I mean, you're an avid goer of Bev's up until you guys
no matter
Yeah.
what.
fulfilled the move to the boonies.
Oh
When-
yeah. Oh, God.
Whenever we go there, whether I'm shooting or I'm just going, I always make sure I go in there and at least say hi to him, pay respect to him, stuff like that.
The big guy, man.
Yeah, you have to.
You gotta say
Have
what's
to.
up. Listen,
Kiss the ring. That's all you gotta do.
when it comes down to it, it's his gym.
Mhm.
He's allowed to feel however he wants.
100%.
That's why I couldn't unvalidate his opinion on how he felt. I knew he was gonna not like it
Of course.
because if it was my gym and people just randomly had a tribe of people come in,
Can't do that.
didn't run it by me, I would flip too.
Yeah.
So I get it.
And whatever he says, you listen.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean,
You have to.
I used to do fitness shows and I was posing in front of him and he's like, you're beautiful. You have the whole package. People like you bother me because you walk like a duck. And I was like, I got to practice my walking. I have to get a posing coach.
He doesn't. He just says it how it is.
Yeah.
And very few people do that. And I appreciate the people that do
course.
that. Do that. I appreciate. Yeah, I do. I appreciate the people that do that far more than the people that just like, yes, it did that.
Well, at least you know what you're gonna
Yeah.
expect. You know what it's gonna be. There's no bullshit.
You always know what it's gonna be. I was shooting blessings at Bev's, and he was posing in front of
Big boy.
Steve.
Bless him.
Big boy. Yo, I love him. He's great, man. So we're posing with Steve, and we shut the door. and Steve didn't get time to put the air conditioner on.
Oh, boy.
So blessings. It's not that he didn't smell. He's just
sweating.
sweating, and he's like a furnace in there. So all you see in the video is just like
Steam.
and the glass behind, and all of a sudden there's just a line that you see Steve. I think Steve says things to like make me laugh, and he like because he looked at my reaction to see. So I'm filming blessings, and all of a sudden he goes, "Yo, man," he's like, "I would have opened the door if I knew you." He goes, "You're sucking all the oxygen out of here, bro." He turned to me, looked at me. I start laughing, and he winks, and he goes right back to like telling him what not to do with posing. He's just listen, he's a great dude.
100%.
Yeah.
He's a very intimidating individual if you're not friendly with him and you don't know him. And I feel like too many people don't know him because he's a fucking sweetheart.
Yeah,
When it comes
the
down to
biggest,
it,
yeah.
the most respectful, nicest dude. Really.
Oh, yeah.
He's one of the old school guys. You give respect, you get respect.
Mm-hmm.
Like I
Exactly.
said, every time I go, whether we're training or just if I'm filming over there, I always make sure I find them. I always say hi,
Yep.
and that's it. You know, goes a long way.
I mean, how many people don't have that respect anymore, right?
Majority.
Majority of people.
Majority.
I'm just cranking your gain up a little bit, Steve. Just don't worry about it. So, welcome, guys. We've been trying to get this going for
know.
a while.
Very much, yes.
It was a crazy spring to summer, and then it was Kenji sick, and then I was sick, and then now we've just finally been able to settle down on the day that we got to do this. So,
Yes, now we're here.
welcome. I have Mr. and Mrs. DiSalvatore.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Hello.
a year. Can you believe it? Next month.
I had so much fun at your wedding.
It was a great time.
I'm not biased or anything, but it really was.
It
the
was
best
such a
wedding.
good wedding. I had so much fun, and a drunk Victor Martinez
Oh.
really makes me
I
so
have so
happy.
much dancing videos.
We were doing the disco together.
He's phenomenal.
I
he's
love
he's
him.
actually supposed to come on. He told me he
Is
wants
he?
to do it. Yeah, he's like,
He's
I
a
want-
great dude.
He's like, I want to do an episode with you. This and I said, yo, whenever you want, man.
Mhm.
We'll plan it out. Come on, do the damn thing. I think I don't want to spoil that one. I got somebody else coming on in September, October. It's gonna be cool too.
Nice.
Big name in the industry, so it'll be good. But right now we're focusing on you two.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get into like how I met Steve because
Okay.
obviously I met you through Steve.
Yes.
So Steve, my man, is a videographer, photographer in the fitness industry. And the way I first met you was I was doing videos with Arash, and you were doing
Yes.
videos with Arash.
Yes.
And we kind of just like
It's like,
crossed,
hey, man.
yeah, stars just aligned. And you know, listen, we could have been assholes to each other, looked at each other as competition, hated
Yeah.
each other,
Yeah.
but instead we both chose the route of,
Dude, yeah.
yo, there's more than enough work for everybody. Let's bounce shit off each other. Let's be real human beings.
I remember the first time we said hi to each other in Bev's. I think I was shooting a rush. You were working out. And then I overheard your music and realized you listen to metal. So
Yes.
I recommended
Wait, you
you
listen
a
to, like,
band.
Slipknot,
I don't
too?
remember what band I listened to. He does, yeah.
Oh,
So
good.
I recommended you a band while you were training. And then after that, we just stayed in touch and just, that was it. We just got close.
always clicked,
immediately.
man. And it was bouncing gear off each other, bouncing
Always.
editing. Just we
Mhm.
were always kind of just,
Hey, did you get this? Hey, did you try that?
yeah. Oh, hey, I made you get that gimbal that sucked.
You did. Great. And it's fucking collecting dust.
Dude, I have tried. It's sitting over there. I have tried to sell that thing, probably I don't know 7-8 times.
I gave up.
I actually almost got somebody because they wanted to buy it for the Nucleus Nano, but I was like, that's the piece that I kind of want to keep.
Right, of course.
I'm like, that's the only piece on that thing that I want to keep. No, you can't have it. I
Right.
should have just sold it. I just wanted. I honestly just needed to get the fuck out of my inventory. It's taking up space, and I hate it. So
Hey,
that was the only bad gear review I ever gave you, though.
yes.
Everything else has been
Yes,
good.
everything else has been great. Everything else has been great. Half the stuff we're using now.
Yes, half the stuff we're using now. Yes, he brought his gear to help assist in making this look even better. And now I'm gonna wind up having to spend $4,000 and buy another camera. Thank you, I appreciate that.
My pleasure.
And Miss Dayna.
Yes.
So you guys started dating how long ago? We're getting back into it.
About
Let's go.
4 years ago, right?
It was 4 years
Four.
ago.
And how'd you guys meet?
Huh.
I gotta get in there. Come on.
Lovely Instagram. I was actually in a bad marriage before previously. Very controlling, very narcissist type of person. Terrible divorce. I was separated a year before I met Steve. So we kind of found each other through Steel Tribe Fitness Apparel. We love Aaron and Karen, so we say hi to them.
Shouts,
to them.
shouts.
And they used to post my picture, his picture, and we kind of just were intrigued by each other. So then I think I was following you on Facebook first.
Facebook first, yeah.
And then migrated to Instagram somehow.
That's usually how it goes.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think
That's usually how it
Suggest
goes.
to friends like this person looks familiar.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you cross paths on Instagram. You're like, follow, and you wait for that follow back. You're sitting there like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Am I going to get that back?
And not to sound conceited or anything, but like there was always guys, always easy to get. And Steve was just like not like giving me the attention, just kind of like very lackadaisy, laid back. And it intrigued me more because I'm like, wait, what's wrong with me? Like, I know I'm not ugly. Like, why isn't he giving me attention? And then I was doing a fitness show. I did 43 fitness shows. And I never really pursued it because I always had just bad relationships. And when I got to that point, I like went 10 steps back because I just didn't have the support that I do now. So I posted something on my story and he actually said, "Oh my God, you made my day, you made me laugh." And I responded. And I never, ever respond to DMs, but he called my attention. So I responded. And then within like 5 minutes, we were just talking about like me coming to Westchester. I live in Jersey. So I
Like
live
2
2
hours
hours
This is
away.
how he fucking trapped you. This is how he
That's it.
trapped you
And then-
upstate.
That's it.
Wait,
Oh my God.
can you believe this? He made me come to him. He didn't even come to me.
You sent, I mean, did you pay? Did you throw gas money?
No.
Nothing.
I bought a dinner. Went to the gym.
Terrible. Like, not even a gentleman.
He's great.
And normally that would like be like, no, I'm not doing that. But I don't know.
It was the
just,
lack of attention that caught attention.
Yeah.
You listen to a lot of Andrew Tate videos.
No. No, that guy's fucking crazy.
Oh, he's wild.
No, it was the lack of attention. You know, to touch on that really quick. And
Go ahead.
that's what
Get up on that
definitely
mic,
caught
too.
Oh, listen to me. What caught the attention was 99% of guys are basically fucking invisible, right? Doesn't matter what a girl looks like. She goes to a club. More than likely, she's gonna get hit on. She's gonna get seen. Doesn't matter what the hell she looks like at some point, right? Majority of the guys get overlooked. They overdo the attention. Hey, you look beautiful. Hey, you have this. Hey, you have this. Hey, can I buy you this? Hey, can I get you that? That becomes normal. You're interested in somebody, show minimal. You know, show a little bit that you're interested, but don't do what everybody else is doing. They're going to be like, why the hell doesn't he reach out for me? Why doesn't he do this? Why doesn't he do that? And then look what happened. We got married.
Yeah.
It was just like boom, boom, boom. And then as soon as I said, oh, well, you know, the driving, it's a lot. I have a leased car, like the gas and everything. Okay, you know, I'll come to you sometimes. The next day, he asked me to move in.
Well, there's a will, there's a way.
Damn, bro. Just right there. Like he would rather have, and I mean, not to say that you're not move-inable with. That's not.
That's a thing.
It's
That's a
something.
thing.
It has to
Yeah,
be. If
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not, it is now.
It is.
But not to say
Trademark.
that. But didn't even want to spend the gas money. He just
I
wanted.
went a couple times.
He's just
I
like,
went a
yeah,
couple
you know what?
times.
Just move in. At this point, I mean, I'm not doing anything else.
No.
No one else was visiting, too.
No,
He's
that's
all
it.
the way up there.
She was she was leaving clothes and stuff like that all the time. And she was literally coming down every weekend.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where, you know, sometimes I would go out there, but we really stayed because I had the
Yeah,
apartment.
he
so it was
had his
more-
own place because I was with my parents. I was separated for a year after like we were getting our divorce or whatever. We didn't finalize it yet. So I was going through my divorce still when I was with Steve. And I kept shooing him away. And I was like, listen, you know, it's going to be bad. Just do your thing. And he's like, no, I'm going to stick by you. And he stuck by me the whole entire time. So then I was living with my parents and I was like, Steve's not going to come to me. There's no privacy.
Yeah.
You know?
That's why she
So-
came over towards my place all the time. And then
But
sometimes I'd go
now
out there,
I'm in the
but-
country and I hate it.
It's Westchester.
No, it's not Westchester.
It's the
It's-
end of
It is
Westchester.
the boondocks.
No, it is farther than
I
Westchester.
get
I
no
remember when you asked me to
service.
come up there and shoot the
Yeah.
engagement video, or no,
Oh.
the
Yeah, it's a games
it was getting
Yeah.
Yeah, engagement video.
I remember when you asked me to come shoot that. I'm not even joking, man. I was driving, and when I looked at it on the map, it didn't look that bad.
It's
So I'm
not
like,
that
okay,
bad.
cool. And then I'm driving,
Your ears are popping.
and then I'm
Oh my
driving,
God.
and then I'm driving, and I think I looked out the window and I saw all the gnomes and the seven dwarves in the mountains, and I thought they were filming Lord of the Rings by you. I'm like,
I
what the
wish.
fuck is going on up
I
there?
wish.
It's
Quiet.
quiet. It's too quiet.
Too
for me.
quiet.
We want more of a like we're gonna leave that area when we get a house. We want more of a younger area, a little more shopping stuff like
Civilization.
that. Yeah, not a city because I
You
grew
know,
up in the
even-
Bronx. I don't want that anymore.
No.
You know what I mean? I'm done with that.
No.
But even by us, there's just like one food store, one home store. Like I want to be able to drive different towns, and there's 100 different things. Like
Yep.
we go
Yeah.
by Acme.
That's-
I hate Acme.
That's my town right now. I moved into Huntington
It's
Village.
so cute.
Huntington Village is perfect. I literally wake up, I walk Kenji down into the main village area. There's a pet store. There's
Mhm.
tons of restaurants, tons of bars. There's a card shop. I played Magic the Gathering there. I was playing last night.
I saw you post.
I'm playing. Yeah, you like that? When you're the most athletic person in the room, yo, it's wild, man. I'm never that person. So there's a movie theater. I
That's
mean,
dope.
it's
Yeah.
just got everything. I walk to the coffee shop. They give Kenji a puppuccino.
That's
Aw,
awesome.
how
It's just
cute.
it's just dope. It's really just
Shout out Kenji.
shout out Kenji, who's not here right now. Just too little room in here. We got like 900 cameras over there. But it's such a nice environment to be in.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted. You know, it's not cheap. But for me,
But that's what you're paying for.
that's what I'm saying. For
Yeah.
me, it's worth it. Like I tell my friends my rent, they're like, I could. Yeah, but like, guess what? I don't have to drive anywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
Technically speaking, I don't have to drive anywhere. I
Yeah.
can walk around town. It's sort of like semi-city living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were driving up here and I'm like, oh my God, all these little stores, these restaurants. Like, it's such a cute little
Yeah,
place.
Roslyn is a beautiful area.
I love it.
Now picture this times 2. That's what Huntington is.
That's
Oh.
awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. So, I just I'm very happy with the move. I'm very happy with the move. My landlord's not in here. I gotta get a new office and new studio, and I'd like to have an area for the podcast over here.
Yeah.
All my editing stuff over here. Just make it so this way it's just much more
Yeah.
studio-like. So I walk
Yeah.
in, sit down, record, but I don't have to worry about being on top of myself because for the people that can't see, I'm on top of myself. I'm a little on top of myself.
It's still nice.
It's a good problem to have,
Yeah,
though.
It's cute.
We've expanded. We got a lot of new clients. Everything's been
Mhm.
going good. Every episode. Shouts to Rain. Love you guys.
Shout to Rain.
So, yeah, I mean, speaking of work,
Mm.
I'm going to go left, right, because I want to talk about your route and where you're going and where
Yeah.
you've come from.
Yeah.
But you being a videographer
Yes.
and working with a lot of major brands,
Mhm.
it's crazy because you started out doing more commercial work, right?
Yes.
And weddings.
Well, so yeah, I started 13 years ago. I started doing weddings. I started as assistant, just holding lights, and the guy who I started with actually was a producer. He used to produce WWE. He started ECW wrestling. He was a big video guy. So learning a lot of the lighting and how to shoot was based on video, but he was teaching me photo. So a lot of the stuff that way ended up growing my career from there. I stayed in the wedding industry until about a couple years later. Then I started doing video, and I was big in the metal scene too. So like I had a band for like 10 years, metal band for 10 years. So
what was the name of the metal band?
Bury the Lie. We
Knew it was
didn't
gonna be
leave the
something-
Bronx.
I knew it was going to be something great.
It was awesome. It was a great time.
We have way
So it's
different music tastes.
Very different music taste. But yeah, I mean that, so I started shooting a lot of bands, a lot of artists, hip hop artists, and basically just in the beginning I shot everything that was in front of me. Dogs. I love shooting dogs. And then just once I got into the fitness industry, I met Marco Rivera, and he was my first trainer. And then I started shooting him, and then he introduced me to De La Rosa, and then from John, he introduced me to Vic, and it was just a chain, whatever the hell that
Chain reaction.
chain reaction from
Yeah.
there. And through them is how I basically grew in the fitness industry, and that's when I started working with brands. And then as I grew as a producer and a photographer, I started really just going into more of digital marketing, developing websites and stuff like that for brands, because working with brands goes a lot further. I don't, not to say anything about athletes or anything, because they have to be their own brand, but a lot of them don't really see it that way. You know what I mean? A lot of them want
Oh, no, I know.
Instagram videos, and then paying this much for an Instagram video. Like, yeah, but what are you doing with the video? You know what I mean? So if you're just doing it for content, all right, I get it. You don't want to drop all this money. But if you're your own brand, it's an investment in yourself. So that's why I ended up going towards more of companies and brands. It worked out a little better.
Which is, I mean, listen, that's why I stopped shooting a lot of amateur athletes. I
Mhm.
couldn't do it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nothing against them. It's nothing against the content.
No.
But like, it wound up being just like a dick measuring contest with like, oh, this guy did a video at the gym, like this local guy. Oh, I got to do one now, and I got to do one now, and I got, and I'd have to tell these guys, I know you see me filming Kai, and I know you see me filming Arash and Flex Lewis, and and it's not to say that your video isn't going to be amazing, because it will be, because I'm
Right.
going to put my all into it. I'm going to make sure it looks
100%.
fantastic, but just understand you're not going to look like them. Like, you think this is going to be a banger in your eyes of what you've seen in the fitness industry. And it will be great,
Right.
but it's not going to be what you're thinking it is because your physique is not that.
Yeah.
And you just got to understand, like some of these dudes had unrealistic expectations. Unfortunately and fortunately, some people don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
They're and that's fine. Then I'm not the guy to work with.
No.
Because I'm not, especially with Photoshop and shit like that.
That's my. I love Photoshop.
No, I hate Photoshop. No,
You
no.
always tell him, can you take out my arm? Can you take out this? Can you cut
Nah, I
this
can't
out?
It's like, you know what you look like. Just, you know what I mean?
90% of my shoots are men. 90% of my shoots are men. And
To be honest, it works better that way.
And I'm listen, dude, I would love to shoot more females, and it's no offense to the females.
Yeah, no offense.
But
It's
I can't sit
easy.
there
They're
for
pains in the ass.
I just can't sit there for hours and like take this in, take this. Like I'll smooth some skin, very basically. I'll take a
That's it.
zit out, like whatever.
Yeah, blemishes, all
But
that stuff.
but if
you want them to still look real and not filtered.
exactly, and
Is
how
it?
many photographers have you seen
Oh
over
my
the years
God.
where
So
you
many of
see
them.
with the photos that they take, the people in person that they took the photos of, and you go, that's not the same person.
No.
no shot.
No, if
We
you went
just talked
missing
about
and you
this the other
photo on a
day.
milk carton, no one would find you.
No one would find
No
you.
one would find you.
It'd be gone.
Especially with these fucking filters. Man. Oh my god. But to touch on that real quick before we end up going into filters.
Sepia.
Sepia. So the thing about what people asking about Photoshop, oh, can you make my arm bigger? Can
Get
you
on
make
that
my
mic.
waist bigger?
Get on that mic. Get on that mic.
Hello.
Yeah, there you go. Come on.
You know, if I'm delivering 40 photos and I got to make your waist bigger and your calves bigger and your arms bigger in every photo, it's not going to look the same.
Correct.
So it's just like, listen, you know what you look like. You know, you got a photo shoot coming up. You know,
The
do no
worst
carb
is
a
for
week,
us
whatever you wanna
women
do. Like,
because
you
when
know,
I'm trying to
well,
find a
women,
makeup
yeah.
artist and all the faces are filtered and I'm like, I go to test them out and I was like, wait, this does not look like the same work.
And
Like,
makeup artists are expensive.
Yeah.
yeah, like $200 for a trial and then $400 on the day of. And I was
Mhm.
like, oh my God.
Meanwhile, I'm just sitting here with the guys I work with. I'm just sitting here hoping that they didn't eat like shit all weekend.
I know.
Because they're going to come looking filmy and holding water. I'm like, dude, you knew you had a shoot, man. Come on. You can eat the brownies after the shoot.
Well, that's one good thing about athletes. The majority of the time, they prep for the shoot. Sometimes.
Some of them. I'll
Sometimes.
tell you what, man.
I've been lucky, I guess.
I'll tell you what, man. Raj always had the perfect skin tone after his shows, man.
Mhm.
That dude would just exfoliate like an animal.
I don't know how.
And he would just come to the shoot not looking splotchy from the tan, glistening.
Yep.
Everybody else, bro.
Leaner.
Dude, everybody else, patch, this, that. I'm like, dude, what happened to you,
Sweating
man?
on stage.
Yeah, what did you roll on gravel after you left the contest? What's going on over here? It's just a very interesting world.
It is. I love the bodybuilding industry, honestly. Like, you know, we've been both involved with it for a long. You've done a crap
many
load of
shows.
shows. I've just been involved mainly in the production side. You know, I was prepping for a show, then I got a minor tear in my pec, and I just kind of threw everything off. But
You didn't miss anything.
I regret
it's
doing
fun.
it though because like I have severe body dysmorphic disorder. Like
Since
yeah,
because of
And-
it, yeah.
people look at me and they think I'm stuck up and they think like, oh, she's cocky, this and that. Nope. From all those shows, it's just you know what your body's capable of doing, even though you know it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
So,
So-
anything less, you feel like a pig. You
so
feel like
touch on that for a second because that's a very important thing for a lot of my female listeners,
yeah.
and there definitely aren't as many as I'd like
Mm-hmm.
because I do have a lot more male guests, and you know, listening to a podcast is all about connection.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
So people hear things that they connect with. That's when they get hooked and they want to listen. But if
Yeah.
they don't and they don't agree, they're just going to fizzle out. They're not going to listen. So the body dysmorphia,
Is a real thing.
It's real.
it's a real thing, and it's a
Yeah.
real thing for both sexes.
yeah.
Of course.
However, females definitely get hit with it worse. So there was a girl that I was talking to recently, and she had just competed, and I told her, be very careful with your rebound
Mm-hmm.
and be very careful with your water intake after the show.
Of course. Yeah.
Just be mindful.
Right.
You know, you're gonna have mind issues after the show. No matter what. You just
100%.
are.
Oh yeah.
It just is what it is.
Mhm.
It's part of the game.
But you can mitigate some of it by not holding a ton of water, blowing out,
Mm-hmm.
eating food, and then your body just reacts and responds horrifically, and you sit there and you go, "What the fuck happened?" You know, for me, and I want to get into your story, your fitness journey as well.
Mhm.
But for me, you know, my coach at the time didn't tell me about rebounding, and I've said this on a couple of episodes.
I was just about to say that. Yeah.
Said this on a couple episodes. He didn't tell me about rebounding. I was 150 pounds on stage, and then I went up to 185 in 3 days.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Wow.
So I had edema, I had swollen ankles, I was very sick. And the crazy thing is, I was away at college when I was prepping. So literally, I'm away at school and my hormones are just shot. They're shot mentally, physically. I went from being shredded to having this big rubber tire of just water around my midsection.
Good year.
It was bad. And then my socks were causing marks on my legs because my ankles were so swollen. And just emotionally and mentally,
It
I
really
was
fucks
just
you
I
up.
was just fucked.
Mhm.
I was fucked. Like I couldn't focus on anything. So now the next thought process in my mind was, now I got to get ready for another show. Because now I'm
Yeah.
so fat now. Now I got to get ready for another show.
Well, you know what you can do. You know what you're capable of. So that's where your mind goes to.
Well, yeah, and the other thought process though for a lot of competitors is, well, the main way that I'm going to get in shape now is just by doing a prep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to put myself mentally through it, and I got to do it.
100%.
If I tell myself I'm doing a show, I'll lose the weight. But
Yeah.
if I don't have a real goal.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Even if they back out of the show.
I would do that
Yeah.
all the time for the summer.
Yeah.
And it winds up being a vicious cycle. That's
Oh,
why so
yeah.
many people get antsy after they compete, instead of reverse dieting slowly, putting on some quality
Mhm.
size the right way, and then dieting down a little bit later. They don't. They
That's
yo-yo.
kind of what you just said, though. You said your coach didn't teach you how to do that. Majority of coaches, from what at least I've noticed, and we talked about this too, they don't teach you reverse dieting.
Nope.
They don't teach you how to go back.
You're
You're
terrible.
depleting yourself. You're basically just not even taking in water for 3 days and taking your body fat down, and then you have pizza, donuts, and pancakes for the next week with cheeseburgers. What do you think your body's gonna do?
Yeah, well, you don't know.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You don't know because you remember how long it took you to get shredded, lean, and
Mhm.
hard, and how grueling the process was.
Yeah.
And you don't remember that, it goes on way quicker than it comes
Oh,
off.
yeah.
Immediately.
Way quicker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I was so strict with myself. I was away at college. I didn't drink. I didn't party. I wasn't with girls. My mind was one mode, and it was the gym and getting ready for this show
Has to be.
and proving myself and everyone else that I can do this.
Mhm.
100%.
And it was. But then after that, ever since then, I could be lean and shredded still, and I still don't feel like
Yep.
it's as good as what I could be.
Yep.
Mhm.
Even though I look 10 times better because I'm
Yep.
fuller, I'm
Yep.
happier.
Mhm.
My face isn't like
Skeleton.
Skeletor, right?
Yeah.
I feel good, and I'm lean instead of feeling like death, looking like shit, but you're just way lower.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So a lot of the girls that I talk to, they have really bad mental issues
Yeah.
after they compete.
I still like battle with it every single day. I'll look in the mirror, I'll get out of the shower, I'll rip apart my body. Be like, oh, I need a nose job. Oh, I need this. Oh, I need that. You're so used to just being judged in a competition. And I always did well. I always placed top 5, but you always compare yourself to others. I can be a little skinnier. I could be this. Why is she putting more muscle on than me? And I've had coaches starve me, make me do hours of cardio a day. And it just wasn't enough. Steve would probably be sick of hearing it, that every single day I'd be like, oh, I'm fat. And people would look at me on my worst day and say, wow, you're beautiful. You look nice. You look good. Oh my God, you look so lean. And I'd be like, how can they see that? Like, I look like fat. I would never wear a sports bra or my belly out because I have fat coming over my pants. And like, I'm not anorexic, not bulimic. Like, I don't have any eating disorder, but my image, it's like looking at a funhouse mirror. Like, I literally, I'll cry of depression, and people think the opposite. They think I'm stuck up, or they think I'm so cocky, like, oh, she's just fishing for compliments. But it really is a severe thing I struggle with every day.
It's difficult to accept the compliments when you
Yeah.
internally don't feel that those compliments actually relate to you.
It makes me uncomfortable when people compliment me. Really. Like, people will be like, oh, you're such a beautiful girl. No, I need more Botox, or my nose is too pointy and long, or, and it's also where I grew up, the people, the relationships I've been in.
Mhm.
It was always like I was their trophy, and I had to look a certain way or be a certain person. And the first time Steve told me I was beautiful, I had no makeup on.
Well,
and I'm like,
yeah.
wait, he can't see me without lashes. He can't see me without makeup. And it's just,
There was a good reason for that.
yeah.
You got it in the do I-
Goes back
should
to
I
the
talk
filter
about
thing.
that?
Tell
yeah.
him.
Okay. So basically, I don't want to get judged. Basically, there's a lot of people that you basically you're almost dating two different people with makeup without makeup, right? Everyone, that's true. It is what it is.
Generally, I've been pretty lucky where a lot of my exes don't wear a
it's-
lot of makeup, and I've been pretty happy with that. I haven't really dated any. No, I haven't really dated any girls. Yeah, I haven't really dated any girls that put a lot of makeup on.
There are out there,
Ye-
and
Well, that's why I'm also saying like there seems to be rare.
well, that's one of the the first time I told her that she was beautiful was right after we woke up with no makeup. Like, I want to see your natural self, and that was
You're like, if there's two different people, when you have makeup on and take it off, then I don't want anything about it.
Well, you see a lot of those TikToks and you see a lot of those reels on
That's what I
Instagram.
think,
You
yeah.
see a lot of
The
these.
filters.
Look how different the girl looks when she puts the makeup on, and
There was a girl, I mean, beautiful on Instagram. This just happened the other day. Can't mention names, but beautiful on Instagram. And I
She's
used to
talking about me.
I used to literally like obsess over her. I'm like, oh my God, she's gorgeous. And I used to tell him, and again, go to comparing. Oh, she's so pretty. Oh, she has big lips. I need this. I need that. I saw her in person without makeup. I kid you not. Like, totally different person.
Yep.
I was like, you're kidding me. This is not the same person. They all swore me up and down. Yes, it's the same person. And I was like, oh my God, these filters need to stop.
Yeah, the filters need to stop.
It's bad.
Yeah, it's
Especially I'm in skincare, so I'm like, if you're putting a filter on when you're doing skincare, kind of not a good sign.
well, yeah, it defeats the entire purpose of it. I'll tell you who I saw at one of the LA Fit Expos. This was a couple years ago. I saw that chick Soma Ray.
I know
you
who she is.
You know who she is. You would know who she is. If you
Yeah.
saw her.
maybe by face.
She's pretty. Mm-hmm. Well,
It's not that she wasn't pretty. I think she was still pretty, but looked
not
nothing
the same.
Like Instagram.
like her photos and her videos. Just didn't look anything like it. I really do feel like it's such a disservice to society what has happened in terms of the thought of filtering everything,
Mhm.
filtering your life, filtering your face. I mean,
Yeah,
our faces are our damn identities.
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, it's just, and I catch myself sometimes. I don't really put selfies up, but like I don't really use filters. But like I catch myself sometimes after I'll post a haircut clip, like a picture, and I'll like swipe because I want it to just be a different tone.
Right.
I don't want my face smoothed out,
But it comes with it.
but it comes with it.
Yeah.
They add the beauty filter
And
right
no
on top
eyebrows, and I'm like,
of it. I look at myself. I'm like, I'm looking at myself. I'm like, damn, I want to post it with this because I like the tones better, like the colors of the
Right.
blues of my eyes. What I like, but like, it just makes my eyes pop a little bit more. But it's smoothing my entire face out, and every blackhead I have in my nose is gone. Isn't that? What happened to just being able to celebrate
Natural.
what we look like?
Social media.
No, I know that's. I'm saying what
That's-
happened to it. I get that that's what is the catalyst, and that's what's really done it. I mean, listen, it's not. It doesn't just stop at filters for your face. It stops at
No.
filters, like I said, for your
for
life.
everything.
Rented cars.
Yeah.
Pretending like how many videographers do you know that pretend like I get to travel around with famous people, but
my
they're miserable. You
Yeah.
know they're underpaid.
Yeah.
You know they're overworked.
Or working
And-
for free.
Exactly, or working for free. And they
Yeah.
actually hate everything. Once again, we're filtering up life.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that everybody on social media thinks that I'm winning, even if I'm not.
That's the
Right.
game.
I even, dude, listen,
I hate it.
I'm so honest. I'm so honest with everything. It's scary sometimes how honest I am. I put up my surgery. I put up everything. I talked about my entire surgery
I remember I
2
watched
episodes ago.
I watched
everything
it during
that
cardio.
happened. My mom actually said to me, she said, and it's nothing against my mom's just old school. She just said, like, do you really want to put, that you just had surgery out there? And I go, why not? And she just goes, I don't know, like, some of the brands you work with. I go,
Being
what are they going to stop working with me?
Mhm.
They stop working with me because I had surgery. If they stop working with me because I had surgery, like, okay, I don't want to work with you. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
don't understand that, like, okay, Nick's down and out for a week or two, which was like such a short turnaround for me. Like, if he's out for a week or two, it's cool. But like, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like, what am I going to put a post up? Oh, busy editing when I'm actually on the couch in fucking
Yeah.
pain. Like, I'm not going to do that. I'll tell people. I keep it real. I just wish that everybody could just keep that realness about it because I'm ranting. It goes back to ranting.
There's nothing wrong with ranting.
It goes back to my last episode with Alex LaRusso. We
Okay.
sat and we spoke about there's a gas station right by Bev's. It's the BP station.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys take the turn to go to
course.
Bev's. You go down Robbins Lane. Okay. He was telling me that there are a ton of armed robberies there. They'll take your car.
Wow.
His friend just got robbed there a couple of days ago.
What's the deal with that gas station?
They don't talk about it because they don't want the homes in Syosset to drop in value.
Wow.
So my whole thing is, transparency.
Terrible.
People need to know this shit.
Yeah.
And it's just life. I don't want to just hear fluff.
I'll tell you
I
one
don't
thing,
wanna
bro.
see
They're
fluff.
about to know.
Yeah, they're about well, 2 episodes in a
You're gonna
row.
know.
And if you get robbed now at that gas station, you fucked up. You should have been listening here. I'm telling everybody.
Don't go to BP.
Wait, I had a friend, okay, and she was telling me, oh, I'm in Hawaii. She posted a picture, all these palm trees. So I messaged her. I'm like, you bitch, you're in Hawaii, like you lucky bitch. She goes, Dana, you've been to my house several times. I'm in my backyard. She had a beautiful backyard. And just, and then everyone's keeping up with the Joneses thinking like, oh, she has this fabulous life and girls compare. And they're like, oh my God, she's rich. She's this, she's that.
Oh, she's on vacation
No,
every week. Oh
She's
my
in
God.
her backyard.
Oh my God. This is how do I get I don't understand. Why is my life such shit?
Yeah.
It's so terrible.
My boy Tyler, I love you, baby. But it is what it is, man. I got to use you as an example. My boy Tyler, he would constantly swipe through social media. And I tell him all the time, like, dude, you got to stop. You have to stop. Because he would constantly think like, oh, this person's on vacation. Oh, this one's doing this. Oh, this one's over here. I'm like, you can't keep comparing it. Because guess what?
They're
Most of
not.
these people either are not or they are, and they're spending all their fucking money and
Yep.
they're just being totally irresponsible.
And they live with
and
their
they're actually
parents.
miserable.
Yeah.
And they have to actually do all these things to just have a relevance for themselves,
Mhm.
or they think that they have some type of an image to uphold.
100%.
And they want to use this fake lifestyle as an excuse that they're important.
Yeah.
And it's a really sad society. So I try to, when I go on social, I try to remind myself of these things because I see a lot of shit too. Like I said, you see other videographers working
Oh,
with
yeah.
people, brands, blah, blah, blah. Like, oh, this person sent me this piece of gear for free. And oh, I did this.
Mhm.
You try to just, I'm doing great. I'm staying in my lane. I'm moving at the speed I got to move at. I go, oh, this person's on vacation again? Great. I'll plan a vacation for myself when I have time. But like, social media really does just screw
Yeah.
with people.
100%.
And the psychology behind it. Did you see that post I put up today? Post I put
one?
up today was wild.
Your story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was like a little swipe through. I like that. Nick Carino, I saw you just texted me. Love you, baby. Yeah, it was the features like pull to refresh and endlessly scrolling on apps to get new posts on every scroll
my
keeps
God.
us hooked on our phones the most. What you can do instead is don't refresh every time while you're on social media to get out of the illusion of control.
Yeah.
That was like one swipe. It's this cool account called Value Vision. I really like them. They do a lot of
Check 'em out.
motivational posts, but they do a lot of like graphics with the motivational posts.
What was that thing we watched? It was a Netflix thing.
The social experiment?
Yep.
Yeah. And it's crazy how like
Ugh.
it really is. People, even fitness people,
Makes
they'll
you wanna
recycle
delete
old
everything.
pictures.
Oh yeah.
It's like the 3 dots when people are typing is literally there just to keep you
Where you're
on.
sitting there hooked.
Yeah.
You're sitting there hooked. Like
Yeah.
you're like a crack feed. People don't want to go to Android because they don't want to lose out. And I'm not saying Android's better because it's not, but
It's definitely not.
it's definitely not. The apps suck. But people don't want to move to a different phone ecosystem because they don't want to lose out on
Yeah.
red receipts. They don't
Yep.
want to lose out on FaceTime. They don't want to lose out on all
Yeah.
of these things in the grand scheme of things that don't matter.
Right.
Because realistically, the phone just needs to make a call
Yeah.
and receive a call.
Yep.
That's it. But because we're in the position that we're in, all of us, you kind of have to have social media.
Right.
So you guys understand and know the importance of it.
Yeah.
Trust me. I wish I could delete it all tomorrow.
Yeah.
I wish I could delete it all
He
tomorrow.
says
If I
that. He
didn't
would
have
not
to
be
use
able to
this.
handle without Instagram.
I'm getting
and-
shadow banned. I'm definitely getting shadow banned.
100%.
Oh my God. My views compared to like what they used to be versus now.
I think it's also the stuff that I post that kind of gets me shadow banned. a
I don't
little
see
bit.
any of your shit.
You don't?
No, I see her stuff on and off. I don't see a lot of your stuff.
Sometimes it's controversial. Controversial.
Controversial.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I don't post that.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
do.
post controversial stuff.
I like it.
I do on Facebook. I'll find like funny memes, and then like Facebook will delete it, and like
She gets warnings from Facebook like this was
Yeah.
not compliant. It's like
Mhm.
and
it's
they're
literally a
going to
quote.
restrict my account because I posted like a Ben Shapiro. I reposted his thing, and he tells the truth.
You're in Facebook. You're in Facebook jail.
that's
That's
it.
what happens. Facebook jail.
The 30 days.
And I need it for my business, so I'm like, I guess
That's
I
why
gotta
you have to unfortunately,
You gotta play the game.
you got to play the game, and you
Sucks.
can't.
When did people become so sensitive? It's terrible. You have to watch what you
Well,
say.
well,
watch what you
well, it
do.
comes up with the everyone being fake too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to pretend like.
Awful.
You know how many people? I mean, I'm sure people that you shot too. People will go out, and I get it. This is the image, right? But at the same time, they'll go out and they'll buy $2,000 T-shirts and all this other stuff for the shoot, and then after 3 days, return it. You ever
Most of
seen
the people
that?
Yeah.
most of the people I photograph are shirtless.
Hmm.
No,
Yeah.
or they own their own clothing brand. But
Not-
I
had
understand
that.
I understand what you mean.
Not so much in the fitness industry. When I shot like either like singers or something like that, or artists or whatever. Not so much in the fitness industry because I guess you're right. The fitness industry, it's either you're sponsored by a clothing brand or something like that. Outside of that, I've seen that a lot. It's people will buy a Balenciaga button down that costs $3,000.
The same thing we just said with them renting a car.
Yeah.
They rented the Lamborghini, make themselves look like they're important.
Yeah.
I had that a lot because they were like influencers, and I used to be a personal shopper before I was in skincare, and they would come to Neiman's all the time.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
It was
Take a
Neiman
picture,
Marcus is where you
yeah,
worked?
return it, put the tag inside, and that
That's
was
it.
it.
Watch this transition. How was that?
Brutal.
Yeah.
It was really brutal.
How
I
many?
mean,
So before you start, how many years did you work as a personal shopper
oh,
in retail? Because I was in retail for 10 years. So
I actually started as a regular salesperson. I started at BCBG.
okay.
And I worked in the city on 66th and Madison. It was a 3-level store. So BCBG was like a very high-end women's clothing boutique. And after 6 months, I got $1 million client book. I learned about my clients. I do everything. It's either all or nothing. So I learned about their daily things that they did on the side, their kids, if they were married, if they were divorced, what they did for fun. And then they would either come to the store, and then eventually I would go to their house, bring everything to them, go to fashion shows, carry all the clothes with me. I was working about like 90 hours a week. I started 2012, and I've been doing it for like 15, 16 years. I loved it. It was my passion. I mean, I felt every time my dad worked in the city. So every time I would go into the city, I would go to Take Your Daughter to Work Day, and I'd see the city light up, and I was just like, Daddy, I want to work here one day. I was 4 years old. And he's like, why do you want to work here? He hated the commute. He couldn't stand it. And I was like, Daddy, dreams come true. I'm going to work here.
Her dad and I would get along.
He hates the city.
I hate the
Hates
fucking
it,
city.
hates it,
I
hates
hate
it.
the
I mean,
city,
I hate
me
it now.
I couldn't be far enough away from it.
But I was obsessed.
Me too. And I am.
And I loved everything. I always loved fashion. I used to put on my mom's clothes, and I used to do fashion shows and like wear her heels and everything, walk all around the house. And I just remember like so many milestones I hit after 6 months, getting $1 million client book. I just go to Christian Louboutin, buy my shoes, and I didn't even wear them. It was just for accomplishments. And to like just sit in my closet to say, okay, my first $1 million client book, here's a pair of shoes. I graduated, here's a pair of shoes. Had celebrity clients, here's a pair of shoes. And
Let me stop you for 1 second. Let me ask this. So when you're working as it's concierge, that like, what is it called?
personal shopper.
Personal shopper.
Mhm.
So when you're working as the personal shopper, how are you getting your clients? Are they being referred to you from an outside party into Neiman Marcus, like Amex does with their booking services, or are you meeting these people on the showroom floor and you're captivating them, talking to them, and then they're working only with you? How does it work?
Well, that's how it started. When I
Okay.
first started, I was just a salesperson, like I said before, and they would come into the store, and I'm a very bubbly person. So I would just introduce myself. I'm a go-getter. So I would just go up to them, ask them if they need help with a size. Then I would they wouldn't even pick the clothes like on the rack themselves, and I would just bring clothes and clothes and clothes and
Yeah,
clothes.
try
and
this
clothes.
on. This will look good on you.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, no, no, no. I'm like, yeah, just do it. And then they fell in love with the experience. I would bring them champagne because, of course, the city, everyone does it a little bit more in the city. And then their friends would start referring me. So then after 6 months, when I got that $1 million client book, I go, listen, I think I owe myself my own schedule. So I started coming in strictly just for clients. So then I stopped taking walk-ins, and I would just go in for them. And then I had a partner, and he would come, bring the rolling rack. We'd set everything up at the client's house. They trusted me with the cards. I got into Hermes. I got into Louis Vuitton, all different designers. And I would go into the store, pick things. They'd give me their card. buy all this stuff for events that they had. And they had so much money. They had like charity events. They didn't work. I would pick their daughters up from dance class and everything because they forgot about them while they were getting Botox. And it was amazing. Like, I just loved doing it because I made people feel confident. I loved fashion. I was going to fashion shows all the time. And it was just amazing. Every single day, I loved to go to work. I would be with dinner with my family, and my client would call me and be like, oh, gotta go. And I would just leave. But
Were you on a commission base? So anything that they purchased? So now if they were buying things outside of Neiman Marcus, were you still technically their shopper?
Yeah.
And so how would you work out commission structure with them?
So I would get 15% of commission. And then I would charge them my service fee per hour.
Okay.
So I did very well for myself.
I'm sure.
I stand on my own 2 feet, had my own place. I was loving life. I had the best
good.
life ever. Well, back in April 2012, I believe, I had a bad relationship. And I was like, that's it. I'm going to Miami, going with my girlfriends. I was still working, still doing the 90 hours a week, doing visual floor sets, working my clients, back and forth, blah, blah, blah. Never said no, just kept going. 2014. It was like 7, 8, 9 years ago, something like that. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
And we went, it was the end of March. It was right when they had that music conference in Miami.
Went to music.
Went to
music conference.
It was like a big thing. I don't know. And we went, and I had fun, loved
Was
it.
Ultra Music Festival?
Basically Ultra.
Yeah, it
but
was
in
a
Miami.
music festival.
Okay.
Or Metalheads, we don't know.
Went for a week, got crazy, whatever. My flight was at 12, didn't get home till 2 a.m., had work the next day. Went to work, did a double. My friend was like, oh, I haven't seen you, blah, blah, blah. Let's go hang out. Okay, fine. So I told my mom, going into Staten Island, and she's like, are you sure? You know, you should be careful. Like, you worked, 12-hour day. You just got back from Miami. Like, you haven't gotten any sleep. I'm like, I'm fine. You think you're invincible when you're younger. So she's very overbearing Italian woman. Love her to death. And she's like, call me when you wake up. Text me. Let me know when you're on your way. Well, I got up, texted her. 6 o'clock in the morning, I woke up, had to go back to my mom's house from Staten Island to Jersey, get ready for work and everything. I had work at 9 o'clock a.m. that day. And I'm driving over the outer bridge. And like when you get tired and you start you're going like that and you wake up and you realize you're sleeping?
Yep.
Well, it happened.
Many times. On my way back from the Hamptons when I worked in sales out there. Unfortunately, yeah.
So the first time it happened, I actually was telling myself, I'm just going to sleep for 2 seconds. I was so tired.
While you were driving?
While I was driving.
Yeah, it's a tough thing to negotiate with yourself on.
And
Because you're going to win,
You're always
and
gonna
lose.
Win. Yeah. Always going to win. Shout out
Yeah.
for ring, keeping you up.
And I fell asleep. It was longer than the 2 seconds I thought.
Sure was, yeah.
I went across the highway, hit the guardrail, woke up again, went across the opposite side. My car spun, and as it was spinning, I'm like, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I was holding onto the steering wheel so tight that the steering wheel came off, and I went into the opposite side in the guardrail. I was in such shock. I literally did not have any idea what was going on. The seatbelt locked up into me. My mouth hit the steering wheel. And a state trooper came to me, and he was like, listen, we have to get you to the hospital. I'm like, no, you have to call my mom. That was just my first instinct. I had to call her, and I didn't call her. And he's like, no, we have to get you to the hospital. So I was in a coma. I had no idea what was going on. I literally died for a few minutes, and it felt peaceful. It literally, as it is on TV, it just is really super quiet, and you just feel peace. I didn't feel any pain, nothing. And it's really emotional because I think about it, and I could still remember to this day, every single thing. I thought I was invincible. I thought I was Superwoman. Every time my mom would tell me, be careful, I'm fine. And then you never think it's going to happen, and then you're like, holy shit. So when I woke up in the hospital.
How long were you out?
I was out for a few hours. I was in ICU. and I was so confused of what was going on. They told me I had bleeding in my head, and I just like my head was all over the place. I thought my friend from Miami was in the car with me. I was so confused. I didn't know where I was. I knew I was at the hospital, but I didn't know why or how I got there. So then the doctor comes in, and the oral surgeon, and he's like, "Listen, your jaw is halfway out of your mouth. This whole side literally was like halfway like hanging." And he's like, "We have to take this out or it's going to get infected." And I was like, "What the hell?" Like, I was like so scared. I could handle pain, but the thought of it, I was like, this doesn't really sound fun. So I go into this other room. They didn't even numb me, didn't put me on any anesthesia. I don't remember them doing that. And they literally pulled my jaw. I cried like bloody murder. All of a sudden, just teeth fell out. And going back to this body dysmorphic disorder, that's what I was worried about. They told me I had a split liver. The seatbelt, because it locked up, it split my liver in half. They couldn't do anything because liver rejuvenates on its own, so they couldn't do anything with that. They told me I had bleeding in my head, holes in my lungs, and I was worried about my teeth.
Did you have a TBI? Did you have a traumatic brain injury?
Yeah.
Bleeding in the brain.
Bleeding in the brain.
I literally, I didn't even know this, obviously, but Alex, on last week, his car accident, he was in a horrific car accident. He was in a coma for a month.
Yeah.
And he had a bad TBI. And then my other friend, Flo, from a year ago, I said last week on the episode too, he had a TBI last year because he got hit on his motorcycle. So it's becoming, and my neighbor, I was talking to my neighbor that I just moved into, and she had one. She was pronounced dead on the side of the road of the Southern State 20 years ago. And she had a TBI. It's so much more common than people talk about. It's so scary.
It is. And
Change everything.
You know, I had a neurology issue too. Like I would get dizzy. They told me I was out of work 7 months. A job that I loved, my passion, what I got up in the morning for every single day was gone. I couldn't fly because the holes in my lungs, I would literally not be able to breathe from the oxygen going up and down the plane.
How did you get the holes in your lungs?
It just, I guess, happened like the impact with the airbags and the actual accident. Yeah. And then my liver was literally split in half. So like they put me on a liver transplant, and
Did you feel that pain?
It just felt like pressure.
Okay.
I really tolerate like a lot of pain. I could handle it. So they had me on a lot of stuff too because I was like messed up. And the crazy thing is, ask me how long I was in the hospital for.
How long were you in the hospital for?
3 days. You know, I looked literally like a mess. My face was all messed up.
Well, I'd expect you to look like I wouldn't expect you to look like you were running a beauty pageant at that point. Split liver, shit like that.
Ready to go.
Yeah, my jaw's hanging off.
A lot of stuff was internal, but you know, I had like
Except
oil
for the jaw.
spills. Yeah, the oil spills on my foot. So like I had like literally a black foot. My face was all like beat up.
Why did you have a black foot?
Because my foot, where the gas pedal was, the oil leaked.
Oh wow!
And it burned my foot.
Oh,
it burned my foot.
Oh.
And it healed. Like I was young, I was
Skin.
healthy. Everything healed very quickly. And it was just such a scary part because I didn't know what to do. I'm a worker. I got that from my father. My father's a hard worker, and it wasn't like in my blood to just sit home, not be able to work, to be told you can't work, do anything. I was just depressed. I couldn't even go and get my nails done. I couldn't do anything. And I'm the type of person, I get a chipped nail in the nail salon. I know it's so vanity, but I was just so depressed. And that's how I got into bodybuilding. That's how I got into skincare. I was home by myself, so I would literally just go in the pantry and make lip scrubs and all these things because I just had to find myself. And at that time, I met my ex-husband, and he was there and took advantage of my vulnerability.
As most men
do.
And women that are predator type individuals, that's what they do. They exploit someone's
They need superiority.
insecurities, weaknesses to make them seem more superior. Not to derail, because I want you to continue.
Yeah.
But I have a friend, and if she listens, she'll know that it's about her. I'm not going to give a name, though. She's a sweetheart, a lover. She's awesome. She's a friend for a long time from high school days. And she went through some really tough shit, man. She went through some really tough shit with, if I say this, it's going to give up who it is, so I'm not going to say this part. But
With a person.
She went through some really tough shit losing somebody, and in her vulnerable state, she started hooking up with somebody, and they took advantage of her. And it's a person that we've known for a long time.
It's fucked up.
Back high school days too. So it's all original people. And he took advantage of her and was nasty to her. And she told me a lot of the shit that he would do. And she was just very vulnerable after a big traumatic thing. You know, when the cameras are off, I'll tell you guys what really happened. But
when you're vulnerable, you don't know. You don't see what's going on.
And you feel ugly. Like I had no teeth. And like the first thing people notice is your eyebrows and your smile.
Yeah.
And I had no teeth. And I had to wait for a flipper. It's like, like the beauty pageant people, they put it in so they have the straight. They're all fake teeth.
The only flipper
it's like
I know is when you go swimming.
No.
That's it.
It's almost like a denture, but it comes in and out of your mouth.
Okay.
And it looks a little more natural than like old people denture.
Okay.
But I was so insecure because I had to take it out when I ate. So like I wouldn't eat.
You don't want to go places.
I didn't want to go anywhere. And because I felt so low and bad about myself because I was in an industry as a personal shopper, everything was about my looks, having the designers, having up-to-date fashions that I wasn't going anywhere. So my ex would take advantage and like because he knew I felt ugly, he would put me down. He would make me feel like shit.
That's
He'd
what that
make me
person was
feel
doing
like
with my friend.
I couldn't get anybody else and that he was all I needed.
He was insecure. She was making more money than he was.
Of course.
And he had that old school mentality of an Italian man. Like, you're barefoot pregnant in the kitchen. You're not... Ooh.
That's okay.
You're not going to work.
That's right. I don't think I have any paper towels. It's okay.
He didn't want me working.
It's okay. Don't worry. Yeah, it's okay. I'm
Distracted.
telling you, I don't have any paper towels.
You don't have any paper towels?
I definitely don't have any paper towels. You're okay. I'll tell you what I do have.
What do you have? T-shirt?
You want to talk about being vulnerable? I got gauze.
Nah.
Let me get some of your butt pads.
Butt pad.
I was honestly very impressed. It went right over the ring.
Come on, bro. So as you were saying.
Before I got really interrupted.
Sorry, I need his butt pads.
But yeah, he took advantage of it.
Just soak it all
And
up.
I also noticed too, when I was in the hospital, a lot of my friends, quote unquote, that I thought were my friends were just there for me because I got them into restaurants. I had a lot of networking. I knew a lot of people because working in the city, my field, all the connections I've made, people took advantage of that.
Of course.
So the people I thought that were my friends that would be there weren't. So he kind of pushed that too, like, oh, well, I'm here for you. So our relationship grew quick, and it was obviously for the wrong reasons, got married, and it was awful.
Yeah.
Terrible, terrible, terrible. He would give me ultimatums. Long story short, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I went with my friend to Team U. She was competing for the weekend. I told him I want a divorce. And it was really hard for me because my parents are married 45 years. Mm-hmm. I value marriage. I never wanted to be divorced. I was afraid what my parents would think or my family, like, oh, she got divorced. Would they take me seriously if I ever met anyone again? They obviously did. But so it was really tough for me. And that was like a real pivot time in my life that I lost everything. And my ex told me, he's like, oh, you could work at Bed Bath & Beyond down the street. So that's what I did. I respected my husband. I was like, you know what? I'll work there, but I'm going to work on my conditions and I'm going to be the best worker. So like, no matter where I go, if I were to work at Starbucks, I'm going to be the best barista. I'm going to learn every single drink there is to make. I worked at Bed Bath & Beyond. I was like, I'm just going to do brides. I'm going to be a bridal consultant. I was #1 in the district. I take whatever it is and I make the best out of it. But I was miserable.
You have to.
I was miserable.
Yeah.
The clip I posted today was kind of so spot on to what you're talking about from the last episode, which is life is hard.
Yeah.
Life is shitty sometimes.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you get pulled back to go forward 20 feet.
Yeah.
And it takes that pulling back to actually spring you to that next level and create that evolution within yourself.
Yeah.
100%.
I talk about peaks and valleys. I tell Tyler this a lot because Tyler has a lot of phobias and irrational, not irrational. He has rational but irrational fears that things are. I'm like, dude, you gotta relax, man. Yeah. You just gotta understand, man. It. Trust me, I hate when it's the valley. I hate it. I hate when you're low. But I was on top of the world when I got my first apartment in May. All my client contracts were coming in. I felt great. and then Kenji has a seizure. I have my issue,
Mhm.
and I'm stuck, and I can't work. And now things are back to being great again.
Yeah.
So it's just it happens.
You went through
Yeah.
the valley, you hit a little traffic.
And you got to go back up.
Yep.
And that's all it takes. It just takes that realignment, that mental, I'm going to be the best that I can be and get out of this situation.
Yep.
And just like you said, you respected what he said at the time. Whether that was the right advice or not, I don't think it was, but
No.
whether it was the right advice or not, whatever it is, you made the best out of the situation and you decided to go do it.
Yeah.
So, but you said you were number one, you were doing your thing.
I was doing my thing. And, I come from a family. I come from a very loving family. Italian mother, always cooking, taking care of her kids. Like, her and my father do everything for me and my sister. And I had a really great life growing up. And I still do. And anytime like poison or anything bad that would come in my way, they would kind of like pull me out of that direction. So I never really witnessed life at a bad time. I never, unfortunately, had to deal with anything bad. I was always financially stable, and not just for my parents, but I made a living for myself. I did everything for myself. And then when I got through this divorce, I'm like, wow, I didn't see this coming. Like I was kind of naive, like, oh, bad things can't happen. I'm like, oh, shit. Then I got in the accident. I'm like, oh, shit. Like, things are bad that happens, and it's okay. And
There's a lot of dirtbags out
yeah.
there.
But even still, regardless of people, I think just bad situations can just happen.
Always.
Spur of the moment,
Mm-hmm.
left field, no rhyme or reason, doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
It just kind of throws you for a loop. And,
Yeah.
whether you choose to sink into that
Mm-hmm.
and allow it to consume your life, the bad shit, or you decide, fuck it, I'm gonna rise above this and I'm
Yeah.
gonna become great and better than I was before. It's a very tough decision for people that aren't ready for that have never
Right.
experienced that hardship before.
Yeah. And then like I turned into fitness because I'm like, oh, I don't want to be in the house. So I would be at the gym 3-4 hours a day. And then it's funny, irony. When I met Steve, I was actually 1 month out from a show. And I didn't want to do it anymore. I was looking good. Everything was going great. And I was just like, I don't want to do it. And he's like, well, I support you. But like, what changed your mind? I'm like, you know what? I honestly found, and nothing against people that compete. I mean, it takes discipline, hard work. I've done 43 shows, so I know. But I was like, I feel like I've always done it to run out of relationships, to be away from my relationships. And like, me and him are that couple that love to do everything together that I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be away from you. I don't want to be at the gym 4 hours. I don't want to be meal prepping weekly. I want to spend time adventuring, doing things, learning things about each other. And I hung up my suit and I was like, I'm done. So that was like a real pivot time in my life.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that don't get to that point
No.
until it's too late. And
Yeah.
it's sad. It's
It
really
is.
sad. I talked to a lot of people at Bev's, a lot of the older guys that have dedicated their lives, and this is nothing against them, but to being average, an amateur. And they never had a phenomenal physique. And they never, although they look fantastic, they never had a champion physique to compete on a pro stage. But they still competed at every show.
Yeah.
And they did everything, and they prepped every year and this and that. But along with that came neglecting their family members,
Yeah.
neglecting family parties,
Of course.
neglecting life.
Yeah.
So many people I've spoken to that have said, if I can go back, I would just not fucking do this competing stuff. I think the sport is great, but I think the sport is great in a healthy dose.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's not healthy.
No.
And you wind up obsessing over it.
Yeah.
And the obsession winds up consuming your mind.
Of course.
It's all I can do. It's all I can think about. Everything I do is going to affect this potential show day.
Yeah.
I used to bring from meal preps to the movie theater with my
Yeah.
friends.
We
Wait.
did that. We made popcorn out of cauliflower.
And
Oh my
wait,
God,
Also,
like-
our family was meeting for the first time. We were in AC, and I literally Ziploc bags. I had fish.
I ended up changing your mind while we were at dinner, but she
Yeah.
brought like fish in a Ziploc bag to a restaurant. I'm like, listen, we're here, just eat the food.
No, it's
I
brutal.
ordered the
It's
same
brutal.
exact thing. I
Ain't
was like,
doing
please
this.
no butter, no oil, and I hope they didn't do that.
End of
But
the
I
day,
was just
yeah.
like, I can't do this. Like, it's just too much.
It's brutal.
And you're not enjoying life. You're missing out on so much.
I know a lot of people that they'll do a show at the beginning of the summer and then that's it, and it just gives them a start to the summer body.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So a lot of people they'll dedicate a few months, like 3 to 4 months, and they dedicate to that, do a show, and then
You know the
you have
problem
your stomach and everything ready
is
for the
that
show.
people, there's such bad coaches out there. They win their first pro show, and then they think they know everything. Then they get an ebook, and then they coach people, and they trust them because they became a pro and they won their show, and then they mess up people's body. I
Yeah.
mean, I wasn't getting my period for 6 months, for years.
Me too.
And
I hate when that happens.
ruined all your hormones, everything.
I don't think you do. But if you watch my podcast and you know who the fuck you were my coach for the first 2 shows I did. Damn, you're a scumbag. Damn, you're a scumbag, man. Oh my God. You really had me fooled. I'll tell you, I had everyone else's meal plan but my own. And tons of steroids every week on my meal plan when I told them I'm natural. And I had to keep reminding, forget it. Just add 30 minutes of cardio a day. I'm like, what? This can't be it. But I'm so locked in. Okay, whatever you say, you're the man. Yeah, when I was, after I dropped that coach, I went with my guy down in Florida. And we reverse dieted me. And he got me kind of back to a good base. I was strong as shit. I literally looked like I took a cycle. It was insane. He had me eating, and I was doing 30 minutes of cardio a week. That's it. And I was shredded. I was like 6 weeks out from my show. I was diced. I was looking amazing. And I remember sending my progress picture to him, and he goes, yo, you look great, man. He goes, how do you feel? And I said, So he goes, what's wrong? I don't really know if I want to do this anymore.
Huh.
And he just goes, you sure? I said, yeah. He goes, fuck it, go eat. You look great for summer. Enjoy. That's the kind of coach people need.
Yeah.
Not that he was so willing to give up on me.
No.
But he understood that
Right.
I don't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't want to. Other coaches would maybe guilt you into continuing with them so they
because
can
then
keep
they
getting
don't get the
paid.
commission.
He was just real. You don't want to do it anymore? Fuck it. Go enjoy.
Yeah.
Go eat. But he was also real in the other way where he wouldn't string me along. There were times where I send him pictures. And he'd be like, "Oh, damn, looking like a little fatty girl, huh?"
Mm-hmm.
He'd be like, "All right, we got to up those carbs. We got to take those carbs down and up that protein." He would be real with me. That's what I need.
Yeah.
I don't want someone to bullshit me. Oh, you look great. How many coaches say that? You look great.
All the time.
Meanwhile, this girl or this guy should never be stepping on stage in the amount of time they have left.
Yeah.
A proper coach would go, "You're not ready for this show.
Yeah.
We need to rebound. We need to rebalance and diet out of this look and get you ready for something else in a couple of months from now." But instead, they'd rather tank your metabolism.
Mm-hmm.
They'd rather add more cardio. They'd rather make you take Clen. They'd rather make you do
Starve you.
all this bullshit.
All the fun pills.
Yeah, exactly. All the shit that's gonna, with all the stuff that I ask them, I'm like, it's crazy that you're just pushing this stuff. Do you have a biochem degree? Did you go to school studying these compounds?
Trial and error,
And you
bro.
know how, trial and error. That's good.
Trial and error.
Yeah, just like the guy that sells blow at the club, right? Trial and error.
Hey,
No,
listen.
you won't overdose if you take this much. It's like, come on.
It took 10 kilos to get the right one.
Oh my God. Bro, it's like these people, they bullshit you. And it's just for the check, for the look, like whatever it might be.
Yeah.
But you're hurting people.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest problem I have with the industry and the sport. It's the people that die or the people that have severe organ shutdown.
Yeah.
And then what happens? They're just pushed to the side. The next name comes up. It's
Well,
okay.
yeah.
Next person.
Yeah.
It's just bad. It's
don't
coming
see
up
anything-
tomorrow. And I hate to say it. It's coming up tomorrow. It's, what was it, 17? 5 years? Yeah, 5 years. 5 years Sean Harris has died.
Wow.
Really?
Sean Harris, man. Sean
I
Harris.
remember
is my-
that.
Yo, shout out to that. I actually texted his wife today because I wanted to check on her and the boys. I want to let you say what you were going to say. The Sean Harris thing really hits me every time because I was the last one to see him alive. And it hurt because I was so close with him and I had just started my video career and he was so excited to shoot with me. So whenever I think about it, it was supposed to be a fun shoot. And instead it was a memorial video that I now had to make.
Yeah.
So when I think of stuff like that, it's tough. He looked the best he ever looked, this and that. but whether the federations want to admit it, what actually caused death, realistically, they say he crashed it. But I have friends that were my ex actually had her brother's friends who were the paramedics on the scene, and they said they tried reviving him 4 times from a heart attack. So I don't know, but it seems like that's it seems like that's a trend that people don't want to acknowledge. Yeah. And my whole thing is, if you're going to do it, you got to be safe. You got to get checked out, because even if you are the safest you can be, you still might not make it out.
Everybody's different.
Exactly. You still might not make it out.
No.
So when you have all these gurus and these pro coach and the pro maker and this, you have all these bullshit artists that are just pushing these titles around, and they don't actually know what this stuff does to you long term.
No.
It's a really troubling thing to sit back and listen to nowadays. I'm just glad I never did any of that. But they dupe so many young people, men, women. You're not getting your period. Like back then. You're not getting your period back then. They're like, oh, yeah, that's just a side effect of this. It's like, what?
I would ask my coach, I'm like, what's all these pills? Because I would just take like natural vitamins, fish oil. And he's like, oh, you can have your money back. If you're
going to question me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what it was. At the time, I wanted to win. I was so, you're like brain focused on doing a show. And he had a lot of people that won. So,
of course, you see the glory.
I did what he did.
God.
And he's like, well, if you don't take things, you're not going to get to the pro level, because all the Olympians and pros are taking stuff. So then you feel that pressure. And I mean, he ruined my body. It took me probably like 2 years to get my metabolism back, because I was in starvation mode. He didn't reverse diet me. I, didn't have, my hormones were all imbalanced because of it. And on a female, that's hard. You want to have kids one day. You want to have all these things. It took years to fix that.
Yeah. And it only took a couple of weeks to a month or so to ruin it.
And then as soon as I step off stage, I'm fat again. So
and then they just go, oh, well, just get ready for another show.
Just do another one. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a vicious cycle. It goes back to the transparency. It goes back to...
That's the thing. You gotta take stuff, talk about it.
Oh, yeah. I mean?
There's a lot of people, natural. No, the fuck you're not.
No. Like, you're not.
I'm going to put you next to a natural guy,
above.
and it shows.
Yeah.
Look at the shoulder. It's just ridiculous. It's like, I don't find anything wrong with any, like, HRT. You want to take tests, something like that, that's okay. But then once they start including, like, the real shit.
Yep.
Like, what's the point? What's the point? Because you look grainier?
Well, yeah, they won't. Well, that's what I was told. That's what I was told after my first show. I said, what can I do to look better? Oh, come in harder. And I didn't know what that meant at the time.
Right.
And then I talked to some people and I went, oh, okay. I look natural. That was my issue. Yeah. I look natural. I don't look like...
They want to look like freaky.
Yes.
But the freaky look
and this is when Men's Physique was just starting out.
Brings the shows in.
This is when Men's Physique was just starting out.
Mm-hmm.
And I was 150 pounds and I got 20-something out of 40 guys. And the top 10 in Men's Physique Class A, which is up to 5'8", I think the top 10 guys were like 210.
Oh my God.
Oh, fucking freaks. I stood next to those guys. My mom actually texted me. I was backstage after we did a comparison. She goes, Nick, I think we got a problem. She sent me a picture of me next to them. I go, yo, I already know I lost. I just want a glass of water because I have such a headache from not drinking water for the last 24 hours. I'm like, I just want to get off the stage. Yeah. I need pizza. I need peanut butter. I need anything just to shove in my face. Yeah. So, yeah, it's a very vain, interesting sport.
Yeah.
But once again, we have so many friends that are in it.
Yeah.
So many.
I always tell them, just please be careful. That's all I say. Because it's all I can say. Mm-hmm. Everyone's going to do what they want.
Yeah.
You can't tell people not to do something. No. They're going to do what they want regardless.
Right.
They may ask for advice, and that advice may fall on deaf ears, and they just wanted to at least pretend like they were going to take some of the advice. Yeah. And that's okay. But I just tell everybody, I know you think you know everything. You don't. Just go get checked out all the time.
I get my blood work done 3 times a year, minimum 2, just to make sure.
It's been a year since I had blood work done, but before that, it was about 5 years since I had blood work done.
I go twice a year.
I also don't. I don't take. I know. I'm not saying you do.
I'm not taking anything.
I know. I'm just saying. I don't take fucking.
For the record,
I don't fucking take anything. Yeah.
Well, I was on HRT for 2 years, for a little over a year, right before COVID hit, and then as COVID hit, we ended up getting COVID on Christmas Day, and the anti-estrogen I was on, my doctor called me. He was like, listen, I want you to stop taking the test, stop taking anti-estrogen, because that anti-estrogen specifically can cause blood clotting.
That's good.
So I'm like, great, I have COVID and I'm taking something. So I just stopped taking it, and I was off of it for what, 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point in this year, we're gonna try to start, producing
Yay!
a little me.
If it's a boy, you got to name it Nick.
I am. And then I just haven't been on. So once she's knocked up, then I'll probably go back on test. But that's I don't think anything wrong with it. But once you see a week, I mean, I think that's good for the
No, my
productive
guy down in
system.
Florida actually is on TRT now, and he
It's
says
great.
he feels great. I'm going to take it when I need it. Until then,
Yeah.
I'm good. Like I don't.
Well, my levels were low naturally.
Yeah, no, my levels. So this was a year ago. It's funny. Like I had health issues last June, and I had health issues this June. Last year, I was having weird like neurological things where I can't even explain it. It's such a weird thing. I would take a step, and it would feel like the ground was like waves.
Weird.
It was not great. It was
Sounds weird.
very uncomfortable to deal with. So I was out of commission for about a month and a half. And then it kind of just subsided and came back, and it subsided again, and then it was gone. So I had to go get blood work done, and of course everything came back perfect, except for my iron levels. My iron levels are through the goddamn roof. So if anyone's anemic listening, you want some of this, take it. I got to get this shit out of me. I want to go donate blood, but I'm afraid of needles, so it's not really a good mix to have it in my arm.
Doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I wish it didn't bother me. Well, tattoos are different than
It's different. You're getting drawn on. Needle, you'll just like.
Because when I got my IV put in for the surgery, I had them put it in my hand, and she's like, "It hurts more in the hand." I go, "Yeah, just do it." I go, "If it's in here, it's gonna freak me out." I said, "Don't, just put it right there."
I
I'm
can't
good.
get blood work. I have to lay down and everything.
Yeah, no. Well, so they did the blood work on me. They did all levels. They laid me down because I turned white as a ghost. But my test came back. My free test was like shockingly high. That's the percentage in your blood. It was like 3%. It was like really high. And then the test level I think was almost 600.
Wow, that's good.
But I wasn't training for a month and a half. So I was just laying around.
That's really good.
So I thought that was pretty good. So that's why I'll get it checked again now. But now I haven't been training again for 2 months. So for like a month and a half. So now I got to start training again. I want to get the levels checked and all that. But it's important.
It is important. Everybody should get their blood taken. Like, I know some people, like you just said, you haven't gone for 5 years before that. I have a friend who probably hasn't been to the doctor in like 10 years. I go twice a year. That's just because I like to stay on top of it. I don't know, was it 5 years ago I had skin cancer?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Damn.
Yeah. I long story short, I had a little birthmark like on the top of my quad. It's never seen the day of sun at all. Never. Once. It's pure white. And I went to go get it checked. First time going to a dermatologist. So they took a biopsy. They said, yeah, it doesn't look like anything. And then I get a call like 2 days later. They're like, yeah, you got cancer. I'm like, excuse me? What?
So now, real quick, what do they do for that after
They had to cut it out.
I thought they just cut a little piece of it out.
No, I had like I have a 4-inch scar. They cut like a big football and they had to go deep a few layers down.
And he did it a week because
Oh,
he didn't want to
I
wait
didn't
for
want
an
to wait.
anesthesiologist.
They were like, well, if you have to wait for an anesthesiologist, it'll be about 2 weeks. I was like, no, let's go.
No. Put my ass
Take it
out.
out.
I'm good on that.
I'll tell you one thing. Smelling your skin burn,
Oh, I'm sure.
that was nuts. So like I just laid down, got a little lollipop, get some sugar, and they numbed me. And then they had to cut around. So say the thing is like here. They had to cut around like a football and go deep. And then you just feel like
Scraping.
Imagine if someone put duct tape on you and was pulling it down. That was my skin getting taken off. And then I don't know if I was too far for that,
No, you'll be able to hear. It's better when it's close.
Yeah, and then they had to solder. They had to burn it, and then the stitches or whatever. So I have a 4-inch scar there. But I got it at 0.4 or 0.5 millimeters. At 0.8, it spreads to your organs. So I got it just in time. I had to go to an oncologist to make sure I was good, and he said I was good.
And then he gets checked.
So for the past 5 years, I've been getting checked every 3 months. Now I just graduated to 6 months.
Love that.
Yes. So, I didn't know if it ran in the family or whatever. I avoid the sun; it ruins your tattoos. So,
And your skin.
and my skin.
I had a dermatologist visit, my first dermatologist visit in, I don't know, like 10, 15 years last year. Because I just got health insurance for the first time in another 4 years.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it was a good time. Yeah. And the doc's like, here, you can put this gown on. I go, Doc, I was like, I don't give a shit about a gown. You want? I said, can I just
Coming off anyway.
Can I just take my clothes off? He goes, sure. I go, all right, bro. Take everything off. He literally looked me up and down. He goes, yeah, you good, man. He goes, come back in a year. I go, thank you. I'm like, great. Yeah. He looked at my scalp. He looked all over.
Look all over you.
He's like, I'm gonna look at your butt. I go, yeah, go for it, bro. Take a look, man. just don't
It's
stare too long.
important.
Now, if you go for a new one, now you have something to explain.
Bro, I am so ready for this to be over. I'm so
Soon,
ready for
right?
this to be over. I mean, we'll
Give you
see.
that
Well,
second
now
surgery.
the issue is, and then I want to get to Dana skincare. Now,
what we're really here for.
yeah. Now, what I have to wait for is I have to wait for my follow up appointment. So I had a follow up appointment already. Bent me over the table, looked me in there, and he's just like, "Yeah, we're good, man." He's like, come back August 3rd, and then we'll schedule the next surgery. So I'm like, okay. But my issue now is I have so many jobs to do. I'm going to LA with Kai. It's not, like the second week in August. My birthday's the last week in August.
Oh.
So I'm Virgo. so I'm like, I don't know what this recovery is going to be like. I don't know if it's going to be as smooth as my first one.
Well, when are you flying?
The second week in August, but I have to go for the follow-up appointment to then schedule the surgery August 3rd. So I'm gonna have to schedule it the 3rd or the last week in August because
Just schedule it after you get back. After you get back.
But I have jobs that I have to edit. I don't know if I'm gonna be thrown off now by that thing. So it's just I just want to make sure that I at least have a couple of days to just chill if I need it.
Yeah, let me know if you need any help.
I will let you know. I'm expanding. I gotta get the team going. So
Yeah, let me know.
I literally gotta get the team going. It's a good problem to have. I'm at a point where I have far too much work than I can handle, and then everyone hits me up all day, and I'm just like, I was working on this video, and I know I have your video, but I have to see about this video. I'm trying to get to everybody. I promise. I'm like, I'm getting to everybody. Yeah, and then I'm doing podcasts. So I'm like, just give me a little bit. I promise.
Yep. Hey, listen, it's not a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing to have. I'm not complaining. It sounds like I'm complaining, but I'm not.
He's complaining.
I'm not complaining, but I'm complaining. So after your accident, you like that? Reverse right back in.
Yeah.
After your accident and after you got the divorce and did everything, you were at Bed Bath Beyond. What was the transition point to creating the work for yourself again environment?
So I tried to go back to doing personal shopping because when I was in Jersey. So when I met him, I moved to Westchester and I wasn't going to be traveling. So I tried to do it again, hated it. I was miserable. I would literally sit in the car. Now I was transitioning to Neiman's doing personal shopping.
Was it the
Westchester.
Was it the commute or was it the people in the area that you just didn't?
People in the
you didn't
area.
vibe?
No,
Okay.
It wasn't the same money, and it wasn't the money that is why I had that career. It was just like people were complaining about like $100 sweater when in the city, like $100 was like their clothes they cleaned their house with.
Different client base.
So it was very slow for me. And, the area we were in, it wasn't the same. So I was miserable. I literally would sit in my car talking to Steve and I was like,
Prep talk.
yeah, I was like,
No prep
okay,
talk.
well, this manager's off today and blah, blah, blah. So it's going to be okay. And then I have only 4 hours till my break. I was like counting down the days until I had off. And I was like, I can't do this. So I came home and Steve's like, you're miserable. He's like, you're so unhappy. I hate to see you like this. I want you to be happy. Like, what makes you happy? Like, I don't know. I love working out. I do love shopping and fashion, but it's draining me. Now you can rent your clothes on the computer, so they don't need me anymore. So it's like, I got to do something. So Steve's like, well, you like skincare. I'm like, yeah, but like, I never thought that I would like see myself doing that as an actual career. It was just something that was part of my routine. I had a 10-step skin regimen and I was like, I just do that. Like, what am I going to do? He's like, you could be an esthetician. And I was like, you know what? Maybe you're onto something. So I literally took a risk. And everything that I loved, I went to school to FIT. I did fashion merchandising. I had a bachelor's in marketing. Everything was around fashion. And I thought that was going to be my job for the rest of my life. So it was really scary because I was in my early 30s, like taking a whole new risk, taking a whole new career change. And I'm like, what if I'm not good? What if this? What if that? And there's that, insecurities again
the
coming.
doubt.
What am I going to do? What if I'm bad at it? What if I fail?
And that happens to everybody.
But I had such a good support. Steve is unlike any guy that I've ever had. And not to get mushy or anything, but I've always had bad relationships. I've always had abusive relationships verbally, not physical. thank God, but emotionally, mentally, putting me down all the time. So like Steve was the first person that was very supportive, wanted me just to be happy, and would do anything. If I wanted to do fitness shows for the rest of my life, he'd support it. If I wanted to be a skincare esthetician, he'd support it. Personal shopping, whatever it was, he would be supportive about it. So I went to school and I literally fell in love with it. I took every single class that they had, and I was just so happy. I had that passion back in my eyes, that light in my eyes.
Fire sparks back up.
Yeah. I would literally read textbooks just for the fun of it because I wanted to learn more. I would go on webinars, seminars, all these things, just hearing more from experts and people that were already in the industry because there was not enough that I could learn. After that, again, like I was saying before, it's either I go all the way or no way. So I was like, you know what? I want to create a skincare line. It was something I've always touched base when I was younger. I would play around in my pantry cabinet and make sugar scrubs, and all these things. But it was just for fun. And then I was like, you know what? I want to do something. You know, with everything I went through, my car accident, having all this problems with my face and oral surgeons, and it was like 3 years of mouth surgeries, and it was terrible. I felt so bad about myself. And I was like, you know what if I can make a difference? What if I can make people feel beautiful in their own skin? I have all these body images, problems from doing fitness shows, problems from my car accident. Let me create something to simplify the skincare system and have it really effective. But I didn't know how to do it. So when I went to school, there's a company that they give you these skin kits that you do your clinicals with, you know, face wash and things like that. So I reached out to them and I was like, I want to create my own line. How do I do it? And they're like, well, we actually have a lab and we clinically test everything and we formulate the products. We'll help you formulate it. And I wasn't a chemist, so I was like, what am I going to do? You know, I learned ingredients through school, but I was like,
That's what happens to a lot of people that decide to create their own, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know, unless you have the fashion background and you're creating a clothing line, you're not going to sit there and stitch the shirts together.
No.
So you have to have somebody that specializes in that aid in it, but you still have your hand in the actual process.
Exactly. So I spoke to them on the phone. I sat with them, and I was like, I want to do something like, because I'm an esthetician.
Mm-hmm.
So I work in a spa and I work on the side and I have clients. And all my clients would tell me, like, there's too many steps. I don't have the time. Or they're a mother. They're like, I just want something. Like, I go into a store. I'm overwhelmed. There's a million products out there. What's good for me? So I wanted to create something to separate myself from the thousands of skincare companies that are out there. And I wanted it just to be simple and effective. So I said, I just want it to be like the most important products in a regimen that would be good for every skin type. So that's what I told the person. And we went back and forth with ingredients. I knew ingredients from what I've learned. And I was like, listen, I want it to be anti-aging. That's my forte. I want it to take care of acne skin. I want it to take care of people with oily skin, dry skin, sensitivity skin, people that have rosacea, every single concern ever, save for pregnant women, everything. But I want it to be anti-aging. Everyone's concerned about fine lines, wrinkles. I mean, I started doing Botox at 20 years old, you know? So I wanted something just for everyone. So I was like, you know what? 5 steps. So it's a cleanser, a day cream, vitamin C, and then there's a night cream with retinol in it and SPF. So there's 4 steps in the morning, 3 at night. That's it. You're done. It works on men, works on women, works on anybody.
Is that why Steve's glowing right now? I see
exactly
him out here.
He actually used to have, he thought he had dry skin. See, I have like a love-hate relationship with dermatologists.
It's also because I'm looking at you.
He was going to a dermatologist for years and years and years. And he's like, I have dry skin. I have dry skin. So when I actually went to school, I'm like, you don't have dry skin. I was like, you have combination where he's like more oily on the T-zone, drier.
I've got a T-zone too. I do. They told me that when I got a facial when I was like in, I don't know, my mom took me for a facial. It was like middle school. She took me to a spa. And she was like, you got a T-zone. I'm like, all right, what does that mean? Get these blackheads out. I'm like, get my oily ass nose for me. Thank you.
Like, stop telling me what's wrong with me.
Stop telling me what's wrong with me. Just do it. I'm trying to relax. It's a eucalyptus spray on my face.
Sprayed lavender in my ears. All I get told is what's wrong with me.
So he went to his dermatologist, and he always suffered from eczema, dry skin, but he didn't have dry skin on his face,
Okay.
on his body, whatever.
My
So
On my head.
as I started learning, like, because he was like my first client, like I would do all the facials to him.
I was a test dummy.
I was like, you don't have dry skin. So you can actually, crazy thing is switch your actual skin type by the products you use. So if you are dry skin and you're using stuff like a clay cleanser, because that's really for oily skin, it gets all like the oil and whatever, you're making your skin more dry. So he was creating his skin to be more dry because dermatologists, I'm sorry if anyone's a dermatologist, but they're
I don't know
good.
if I have any dermatologist listeners.
You might
Maybe
now.
that I know about.
You might now. You're gonna be
Yeah.
the thumbs down on the videos.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, fuck these people.
They're good at skin concerns, cancer, removing moles, anything like that as like a doctor. But they cannot recommend skin products. They do not know. They put everyone on CeraVe. Awful, 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 awful.
Did you watch
awful.
that? Did you watch that Netflix documentary?
Which one?
What is it? Not That Pretty or something like that.
No.
Was it about that?
I gotta find the name of it real quick.
Uh-oh.
Well, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, no.
I want to find the name. They talk about all the skincare industry. So I'll tell you just a brief sidestep. My hair has always been very thick, great, and it still is. But all of a sudden, I started like running my hair through. I switched shampoos, and I started running my hand through my hair, and I'd get like not a lot. I'd get like one or two.
Yo, I get that every day.
Hair.
But it's very rare for me. Like that was something I've never experienced before. And I looked at it, I was like, am I starting to like, is this what this is? But I realized I switched shampoo and conditioner to Dr. Squatch. And it always smelled weird. It had like an egg smell to it. Like
That's when it started coming out?
Yeah. But it's not coming out. Like
Falling out.
three fucking
Like shedding.
3 blades of hair. Like it was nothing.
Right.
But to me,
That's a lot.
someone who like I've never had any hair basically fall out of my head. It just was weird. And I've always used it's not doing it. So I've always, which I'm glad. I've always used Head and Shoulders,
Me
which
too.
I know isn't technically a good shampoo.
I do it every day.
I switch back, not doing it anymore. I actually threw that shampoo out. So it's amazing when you say you can.
Yeah.
It affects you bad. Netflix on beauty industry.
Yeah. Head and Shoulders works good. Selsun Blue don't work for shit.
I've never used Selsun Blue.
It's not worth it. You basically just look like a Smurf and it doesn't work.
Not so pretty. It's about all the chemicals, all the crazy
I
shit.
have to watch that now.
It's wild.
It's nuts.
They talk about nails and the chemicals in the nail polish. They
Terrible,
talk about
right?
shampoos. They talk about they talk about everything.
I have to watch it.
Yeah.
You gotta watch it. It's a wild journey.
You gotta do it.
Even for me, I was like, oh god,
Yeah.
my god. And then I started reading all the labels in the house for all the stuff. They start giving you. I'm like, oh my god, this has it. This has it. Oh, what the fuck? It's craziness.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you go into a store and it will say, for example, pure hyaluronic acid. Hyaluronic acid is a water-based serum. So you check the back of the ingredient list and it's on the bottom, which means it's not pure, but they have to put it on there because it says on the label. So, like, with my product, I wanted to make sure you go on the back of the list. It's all ingredients you could pronounce. It's everything you know. It's things that are good for brightening, good for fine lines, wrinkles, good for people that have acne or clogged pores, good for dryness, good for oily. It just, because the ingredients are in there, that's what you're paying for. I didn't want to be a drugstore brand. I obviously am not Skin Better and, brands that have been out. I don't have a name for myself like Chanel, but you're paying for the ingredients. Yet. But you're paying
She's
for
coming.
the ingredients.
That's how we us entrepreneurs gotta talk.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yet.
You gotta say yet
One day.
everything.
But we're paying for the ingredients, and I am all about my products. I've been using them. Steve uses them.
Every day?
Everybody uses them. And I will never knock other skincare brands. I'll still use serums and stuff because I don't have that. I have your essentials, your 5 products. And then
That's all you need to build
your
something really special.
regimen.
Yeah.
That's it.
You know?
The basics are what gets you out there.
Yeah.
And
And, I don't want to age
you got.
gracefully.
I mean, listen, you've got. We all do. We all do. You know, you've got Steve doing the Steve's photos are unbelievable.
Yeah.
The videos are
Thank you.
great. No, for real. I look at them. I'm like, oh, it looks so sick. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, he
you.
does
So-
all the content.
A lot of times, me and him send each other work. We're just like, "Oh, what do you think of this? What do you
Yeah.
think of this?"
He did. You know that Charlize Theron commercial with the Christian Dior perfume?
Yes.
I wanted to recreate that with my skincare.
Yeah.
So I'm walking up the stairs
We
and I'm
rented
Right to
a
the
house.
mirror. It was awesome.
yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It looked great.
Mhm.
But that's the type of stuff you have to do to continue. I was gonna say you should do a podcast. You should really do one.
Yeah.
Not just mine. Your
Oh,
own.
really?
Your own. Why not? Teach people about the brand. That's huge. I try to talk to people all the time. Podcasting is huge because it helps.
Definitely got bigger over the past few years.
Well, it's blown the fuck up because
Yeah.
I think there's a number of reasons. I think one of the bigger reasons is people are tired of hearing the bullshit on regular mainstream TV.
Oh,
Yeah.
And that's from any news source. That's
Yeah.
from left, right, middle. It doesn't matter. They're all
all
bullshit artists.
bullshit.
It's whoever's cutting a check. I'm tired. I don't pay for TV. I
Yeah.
pay for my Netflix, which
Yep, all subscriptions.
HBO. Like I do that, and then if they start pushing shit on me, bye.
Yeah.
Have a good one. I don't need it. So I'd rather listen to people that I respect or that
Mhm.
I think have good opinions.
Right.
And if they don't or things change, it's easy. There's an unsubscribe button right there. Boop.
Right.
People
Done.
listen to my shit. You don't like it anymore? Boop. Goodbye. No worries. I'm not hurt by it. It's cool. Thanks for staying for a little while. But my whole thing is I tell people all the time that are in specialized industries that they're either selling a service, selling a product, they want to build that brand. It's so important and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
easy content because you now have video and audio and you can cut clips. And
Yeah.
the clips that you cut will be used across so many different platforms and mediums that it helps to spread the awareness and the word on you because technically your product
Mm-hmm.
is what's selling, but you're
Right.
selling yourself.
Right.
You're the brand. Your
Mhm.
name is on there. You want people to understand that you're the trusted name behind that.
Right.
You got a guy that knows most of it. I mean,
Yeah.
realistically, he doesn't even have to be there. You set a
Yeah.
light up, you set a mic up, and that's it. And then
That's
you
true.
you could just create segments and talking points. I tell a lot of
Yeah.
people this. It's so important. It goes across any industry.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like and it just what are we trying to do? We're trying to bring awareness to ourselves.
That's what it
We're
is.
trying to boost ourselves up to get to the
And be authentic.
exactly to get to being authentic and what I'm about to say is not hand in hand, but we want to be like the Kardashians in terms
Yeah.
of authenticity,
Yeah.
not bullshitting.
Right.
You
Brand
want
marketing.
correct. You just want to be able to get to that level of selling and status and this and that,
course.
where you're looked at as what is it, Sarah V? You said
Yeah.
where you're looked at as the real, like natural version of stuff like that. That's what it's all about. It's we all start at the ground floor.
Mm-hmm.
Have to.
Not everyone's going to support you, and it's
Right.
unfortunate.
Oh, I found out once I
Yeah.
created my skincare line.
The thing is,
People- you
you
see
don't
the
start
support.
out at a ground floor. If you don't start on the ground floor, you start out at the top. When you run into issues, you don't know how to handle them because you didn't go through them.
Yeah.
So starting out at the bottom and just not getting the jump start in this and that, like we've reached out to people, we've gotten, support, a lot of support from friends
And people that we didn't think we'd
and people
have.
we didn't think that would buy.
Well, it's always the people that you didn't think are the ones that would support you the most.
Which
and
is
the people
crazy.
that I thought would support me,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, such jealousy. Like
Yeah.
they not supportive, not helping out, and that's
well,
okay.
what's the term? The quote is they want to see you do well, but
They're
they
not
don't want
better
to see
than
you do
them.
better than
No.
them.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of things. That's a lot with our videos. That's
Yeah.
not- you know how many people I have almost like 8,000 followers. I'm a small fish. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it is what it is. But like out of those 8,000 followers, if I post a video to my story,
I was just gonna say that.
I'll get like out of those people,
A few hundred.
sometimes I get 600 views on a story, 700, 800 views
no,
on a story.
and on your picture
and
likes,
on the pictures, the likes, nobody says anything. Nobody just
Nah.
2 seconds. But I see you like Tiger's photo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see that, oh, Megan Fox and MGK. Oh, you're drooling over all their photos and commenting on it and sharing it to your page. You're entitled to do what you want.
Mm-hmm.
It's your social media account.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, the pure lack of respect for people that you personally know,
Yeah.
when maybe that like or those three, them and 2 other people, they all like it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that helps me get to the explore page.
Right.
Maybe that helps me boost my name. But nah, you just want to throw likes at the people that get millions of likes a day.
Yeah.
So it's cool. I see it. I'm watching it. Now, whether you're seeing my content or not, I shared it to my story, and I saw you see that story.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it took 2 seconds to like that. It's cool. Don't worry about it. But I have people that then, and I'm going to let you say, I have people that then send me invites on Facebook to like their group.
Yeah.
Or I've had people all the time. Yo, Nick, can you share this to your story? Why? You don't share my shit.
Yeah.
The fuck am I going to, I'm going to push your stuff?
Yeah.
Crazy?
Yep.
Yo, man.
I don't ever ask for favors.
Yo, it's tit for tat, man.
Yeah.
If you support me, I support you. If you don't support me, it's cool. I'm not offended, but I'm not going to support you and your shit.
100%.
And by not supporting you, it doesn't mean I don't hope you do well.
Right.
Yeah.
I hope you do well.
Just-
And I don't care if you do better than me. Your success story is your own, and you're building.
But it doesn't affect you.
Doesn't affect me. I don't care. Like it's
They
not.
win or they fail, it doesn't affect you.
It doesn't affect me. But if you help out in the process, it all it takes is a like,
I know.
a share. That's all it takes.
You know, it's funny because there's so many people, they'll do that. And me, I never ask for anything, for anybody. I'm always there for people. I always do whatever they need. I never ask. It's extremely rare for me to be like, hey, can you just share this to your story?
I'm pretty sure I shared your guys'
You
stuff,
did.
right?
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm just making
You
sure.
did, yeah, yeah, yeah.
You're like,
I'm
uh-oh.
like, I'm
No,
sitting here, I'm
no,
going,
you
Well,
didn't.
that's
fuck.
the whole thing. Is that anybody who I asked that I've always been there for, but I never really asked like, hey, can you share this? Everybody basically did it, and they didn't have to. They didn't really want to, you know, but they did. And the one thing that I've definitely found, to touch on what you guys were just saying, is that when those friends who will watch your story but they won't like your stuff, if you started a business selling water, they will go somewhere to buy it for $2 because you didn't give them 50 cents off, and it's fucked up.
Yeah, people ask
know what I
me,
mean?
"Oh, can
You
I
didn't
just
give me a
get this?
discount.
Can I get samples?" And I'm like, it's still, at the end of the day, I love you, your family, your friends, whatever, but it's still a business, and it's a small business, and it's gonna grow into something.
No, but
beautiful.
you should make money. But
Yeah.
you shouldn't be able to make the profit that you're supposed to make.
Yeah.
You should be able, because it's your brand,
Yeah.
you should be able to just give it free to everybody,
Mhm.
or at a substantially discounted rate.
Yeah, well, you know what we've done? People have asked, "Oh, can I get a disc on this?" And we're like, "No." Can I get a sample? No. You know, maybe. It depends on who it is. But at the same time, the people that didn't ask and just bought it without even asking us where to buy it from, we gave them like a free bottle just because.
Yeah.
And it's like, listen, you know, you see it all the time. I know you see it all the time. Oh, well, this person said he was going to do it for this price, but I like your work better.
and then they wind
Damn.
up coming back to you.
Why are we talking then?
Ugh.
You don't have to talk to me. It's okay.
I get that all the time. Well, I really, really like your work, but this person gave it to me for $5. Can we do what?
No, we
What?
can't. You need to go to that person then.
Yeah.
I'm not offended.
No.
I do you.
It's
all
your
the
work
time.
that you're paying for.
Your budget is your budget.
That's what I start my conversations with.
Who am I to disrespect that
Mhm.
and say, oh, if you can't afford me, you're not good enough?
Exactly.
Absolutely
No.
not. You are still valid in every respect. Because guess what? Just as you have a budget in that, I have a budget for a pair of jeans that I want to buy.
100%.
I'm not going over $100 for a pair of jeans. I'm not
You
going
got
100,
bills.
150. Oh, those jeans are really nice, those designer jeans. Do I want them? Yeah, sure. You know what? Perfect example. Creed cologne. I've always wanted
Oh
Creed
my
cologne.
God.
Love Creed.
Always wanted Creed cologne. I'm a YSL guy though. I wear a lot of YSL. I like YSL. It smells great. Right in perfect for my budget. $120 for a bottle of cologne.
Yeah, it's
That's
not
the
bad.
sweet spot. I can't
It's
justify.
like $500. I got it for him because I was in Neiman's, so I gave him a
Well,
good
we got a 30% discount.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
$300 for a small bottle. And is it gonna last you?
Smells delicious.
It is. But is it gonna last you? 1,000%. Is it worth the money? Debatable.
Yeah.
I think it's a great scent. It's very original.
But I feel like I never smell perfume on me, like ever. Like it smells good and whatever, but when I spray it on me, like I never smell. And then people are like, "Oh, you smell so good," but I never smell it.
Well,
On
because you get used to it.
Yeah.
You get used to it. Just like
Immediately.
smelly people never smell themselves.
Yeah.
They never understand that they actually stink because they're
Yeah.
just their nostrils have just been numbed from the constant stench.
It's terrible.
So it's like that. So am I less valid because my budget doesn't
No.
constitute me spending $500 on a bottle of cologne? Absolutely not. I'm happy with my YSL cologne. I love it. It smells great.
Yeah.
I get compliments on it all the time. The other one I wanted was a Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille.
Mm.
Oh man,
That's
love
another
that
good
one.
one.
Another
Mhm.
one. Can't justify spending the price on it. So when people come to me or you and for your skincare, they ask for a discount out the gate.
100%.
I can't do it. Like there's no reason for me to give you a discount. It's not that I need a reason. It's just
It's a service.
I need to make money.
Yeah.
Like
Well, you
to
got
keep-
bills.
my dog eats a lot of food. Kenji
Yeah.
eats a lot of food. And
Gotta
I got
keep
an
him
apartment.
happy.
I got the apartment and I got the office. And this ship will continue sailing with or without your
100%.
business.
This stuff ain't cheap.
Oh, you mean the $5,000 cinema lens that I'm using right here?
Yes.
Oh, the $1,500 lens right here, and let's not even talk about the camera bodies and the monitors.
Yeah, we're avoiding the camera bodies.
Yeah, the camera bodies. I mean, well, I gotta talk to you because I think I'm gonna buy a Komodo or
Oh my
I'm gonna
God.
buy an FX6. I'm still deciding.
We need another podcast for that one.
Yeah, we have to get that one. But it's just it's
Gonna be awesome.
yeah, it'll be
It's
dope.
awesome.
It's just the lack of thought processes. Like when my friends all started getting their own apartments 3-4 years ago, a lot of them were like, not a lot of them. Some of them would jab at me and be like, "Oh, when you get in your own place, when you go, oh, you're gonna stay home with Karen all the time." I'm like, "Yo, dude, you know what's crazy? What's crazy is you have a job that you get paid every 2 weeks. I've decided to bet on myself, and I've purchased every fucking thing in this office except for the fridge. Shouts to Rain.
Shout to
I've purchased everything in this office. That's my money.
Yeah.
No one's fronting that for me. No
Yeah.
one's going, oh, here you go, Nick. Like, just take it. Just buy whatever you want.
Imagine.
All of my money goes towards this.
Yeah.
All of your money has gone towards this.
Yeah.
It's
And
reinvestments.
branding
Yeah.
and trying to just get the brand and the image where it needs to be.
Yeah.
Investing in yourself, courses, school,
100%.
learning. All of that dictates now what you charge.
Yeah.
100%.
So who are you to say that it should be this price or it should be that? Like when all of your R&D, all your money is going right there.
Yeah.
You have to make it back to
Yeah.
some degree.
Oh yeah.
And I'm ranting. But
Nothing wrong with renting because what you're saying is true. One thing I always tell people, and I get, we all get this all the time. Oh, well, this person does this. Can you do it for this? Or, can you give me a little discount? I tell them, the moment I get that question, I say, listen, don't bullshit me. What's your budget? What are you looking to do? They tell me the budget. If it's realistic enough, I'll tell them what I could offer them in that budget.
here's
That's
a
different than what I
package
do.
based on this.
Exactly. This is what you have. So say if I charge $5,000, but your budget is $1,500. I'm not going to turn you away necessarily, but I'm going to offer you what I would offer you for $1,500. You're not going to get the $5,000 package.
Correct.
You're not going to get all the crazy shit.
I'm not bringing the lights. I'm
No.
not bringing the boom mic. I'm
No.
not bringing the $5,000 lens.
I'll give you a specific time that you have to shoot with. I'll give you the specific type of video you're going to get and the time. And then how many revisions. That's it. You want the $5,000 package? Then we have a whole bunch of stuff to talk about.
we can plan everything accordingly.
Yeah, I mean, she gets this all the time with the actual facials.
Yeah.
We've worked out a system.
Facials are not cheap, but there's a lot of things going on that require the price that they ask
Yeah.
for.
Well, we travel to people. She travels to people's. I go with her. That's why I say we. But she travels to people's homes. That's her business.
Like
Yeah,
I started that during COVID because I was like, my spa's closed. What am I gonna do? I have to make money. I'm a go-getter. So I reached out to my clients and I would just go to people's houses. He built me a website, did all of that for me, and I bring everything: the massage table, the products, the steamer, everything.
And you purchased all of that yourself.
Purchased all of it myself. I work very, very hard for my money, and people would be like, at first I was just charging like $125, which is the normal
Very
going
cheap.
rate. And then
To
I'm
be
like,
going to people's houses.
wait,
Yeah.
I'm traveling. I'm schlepping all my stuff, bringing everything, carrying it, going up to stairs. So then I was like, you know what? I'm adding a travel fee. And it deferred a lot of people. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to put it in my facial price. You're paying for my service, but I have to say, and I'm not, I'm going to toot my own horn. I am a really good esthetician.
She is. I can vouch.
I transform skin. And I think the reason why I am so good at what I do is because I care about people. I want to do corrective skin. I want people to come to me with the worst skin in the world, and I want to fix them, and I want them to feel beautiful in their skin and feel confident and everything like that, and put them on a regimen and tell them what they need to do. So you're paying for my service, you're paying for my knowledge, you're paying for the years of schooling I did, everything that I've learned that I'm instilling in you. And they negotiate, and I'm like, oh my God. Like, I can't do this because, like, I feel bad because I am that caring person. But at the end of the day, I'm like, listen, this is a business. You're getting my service. You're getting Dayna. You can get Jackie, Michelle, but you're not getting Dayna. So you can go somewhere else. And in the beginning, it was hard because I
You're
didn't
still
want to
building a
turn
name
people
at that point,
down.
yeah.
It's very hard to say no.
But now I'm like, you know what? I know who I am and I know what I'm capable of and I know I'm good at what I do, that I'd rather say no and get the great clients that respect and value my work. And maybe in the beginning, I didn't have as many clients, but now people will cry if they go to somebody else. They'll come to me. Oh, I've
She
been
has a lot
here.
of returning clients.
And that's a good sign
Yeah.
that you're doing things right.
Yeah.
It is.
And you know what's crazy? In the beginning, a lot of our clients came from a referral out here in Long Island, like 40 minutes past here.
Yeah.
And we live in UC where we live. We're an hour from here in
The
Westchester.
boondocks.
So, you know, and they're still her clients. And in the beginning, it was 125, and we would travel an hour and a half,
It's not worth your time.
Yeah.
and then an hour and a half back.
No,
It's like
it's
it's
not worth
costing
it.
more in gas.
Not
But,
worth time.
but you're building a brand. You're building a name. So at the same time, like
In the
how much shit
beginning.
that we do for
Yeah.
free, you know,
I gotta be honest with you. I really didn't do that much free work.
really? In the
No.
beginning, bro, you know how much stuff I did? I was just,
No,
yeah, man,
I-
let's go.
I probably shot.
There's a few people.
No, maybe three
Three people.
3 or 4 people that I shot for free, but then I started charging them.
And then they went away.
Yes and no. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they just tried to keep me at that low rate.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Steve's a sucker.
I
And
know,
I'm the
no,
bitch
no.
because I'm like, no, you can't.
I
like,
talked to her. I'm like, oh, this person asked. She's like, no. I'm like, but
you're not
it's-
doing
no.
it. And I'm like, no.
"Ugh."
Now, don't waste your fucking time, man. I had
No.
a
I
video
know.
request recently. I had a video request recently. He was a super nice guy, but it just wasn't anywhere worth my time.
Right.
He wanted me to meet him down in Freeport, get him packing up his car, because he was going to a barbecue event out in the Hamptons. So Huntington to Freeport, that's about a 40-minute drive. Then from Freeport to the Hamptons, probably about a 2-hour drive.
Oh, wow.
Then he wanted me to shoot for like 5 hours, 5-6 hours out there, because he was doing the food. Then I had to wait for people to start eating the food to get their reactions. And then I have to drive back to Huntington. So that was another 2 hours. And I said,
What'd you quote him?
I didn't even have to quote him. I just said, this isn't to be offensive to you, man. I just know that this is probably not what you think it's going to cost. Because he kept saying, oh, I'm not getting paid for this event and this and that. I'm like,
Once you get,
so I just said to him, I said, listen, you're a really nice guy, man. I just know I'm not going to be.
he
the
led
fit.
it with that.
Yeah. I said, I know I'm not going to be the fit for you. I said, what are you expecting to pay? He's like, yeah, I don't want to pay anything over like $600-700. I'm like,
Oh
For all
my
that?
God.
I'm like, yeah, bro.
That's
it
at
ain't-"
least 2,500.
I'm like, more than
At least.
I'd be quoting
With
more
travel
Like
and
five?
everything?
I don't know. Maybe like 45 for something like that, bro. 4 hours.
$500. That's a
4
sweet
hours?
16.
4 fucking hours just to go back and forth to the Hamptons.
Yeah.
5 hours when I'm there. 40-minute drive from Huntington to there, and then I gotta edit.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Nah, no shot. Nah, it's
See,
not happening.
you're also talking to a guy who's been doing weddings 13-hour days for so long.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that either. I did one wedding,
I'm
and
so
I
used to
said,
long
I'm
days.
so good on this, dude.
Yeah.
They paid me. This was years ago. This is like 2012, right before I picked up Kenji. I did a wedding. I was like, you know what? Business was like a little weird at that time. I was kind of slow. I said, you know what? Maybe I'll shoot a couple weddings, make some money, this and that. I shot one wedding, dude. I couldn't wait to leave. I was like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. I will go clean dishes, then shoot this shit. I said, I can't do it. I can't do it.
It's just repeating the same cycle.
Nah, I'm
It's-
good. I won't do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Yeah, it's to each their own.
Yeah.
Like there are some guys that love shooting weddings. There are guys.
That's how I started. I didn't know
That's
anything
what I'm
else.
saying. You love shooting weddings.
Yeah.
To me,
I was in culinary school.
To me,
I
it's
was
not
a
worth the
chef.
time.
Like I was a cook.
it's not worth the time. For me and what I would get paid on normally on jobs,
For what I charge now, it's worth it. In the beginning, it wasn't.
it's still a very long day. I would probably be charging more if I were you.
Yeah.
We can talk about this off camera.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it off camera, the pricing. But what I charge, what I charge now for a 12-hour day, it sounds like a lot, right? 12-hour day.
No, it is a lot.
But when you write it down, like if you
No,
write it down
not
on
the
paper,
price.
it's not that.
What you have to do is a lot.
No, I'm not talking about the price. I'm talking about what I do. If you write it down on paper, it's very structured. From
I know. Dude, I was there for that one wedding.
hour and a half in the morning, you got the bride.
Get
Here and
the
there.
groom, get the bride. Oh, they're setting up and this
It's
and that.
very-
Oh, get the rings on the table and with the shallow depth
It's
of
mindless.
field, and then get everybody partying at night. Nah, I'm good on
I
it.
drag her to every wedding.
Oh my
But
god.
I love it. I'm like a hopeless romantic.
my
I love
assistant.
it.
She
I
helps me
can't
out.
wait to see the bride, and I get creative with the shots because it's like the same thing all
I
the
intentionally
time.
don't go to weddings. Like I said
You
that
had a great time at ours.
I had a great time at your guys. I showed up to yours, and it was not around the corner, and I still showed up.
You did.
I had a lot of weddings that I just didn't show up to.
It was a lot of fun.
They thought I was coming, and I just didn't. And they're all actually divorced now, so I'm actually glad I didn't go and give them a present. Yeah, I just knew that I just didn't want to ever broach that subject of being in the wedding because I never wanted to be known as a wedding guy. I get asked all the time, yo, do you shoot weddings? Nope.
You'd be surprised. I agree with you on that because there's a lot of guys I know that are producers, and when they introduce me to people that they know, when they say, "Oh, how do you know Ron?" Don't tell them weddings.
Do not say weddings. If you're a videographer and you're listening to this and you want to be taken seriously going forward, and you're on a big set or you're networking with people that are corporate people that are doing large type format videos, do not say that you shoot events like weddings and sweet 16s and bar mitzvahs and shit.
That's how I started.
They will instantly not take you seriously.
No, not at all. Like I've been a producer. I've done TV commercials for big companies and outside of the fitness industry. But I started with
you did do good
weddings.
on our engagement video.
Oh,
that was
I love
beautiful.
that video.
That was great.
Yeah.
I had so much fun with you guys.
That got you more engagement video.
That's
I remember
when
when
we
you did
were
that.
fat.
Oh
my god.
He shot it and then after that I saw like 3 more engagement videos followed after that.
Oh yeah, everyone's asked me for engagement photos.
Yes,
I was like, okay.
Like, I posted one.
It was perfect.
I had a good time with you guys. But we were like rushing and running around trying to get each location.
Yeah, because the first place
the
was
train
not
station.
where we thought.
The footage came out good that I shot though.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah,
it was great.
But when we first stepped there, we're like,
when you guys got out of the train station,
oh yeah,
you're
you
like,
see me?
where
I was
the
like,
fuck are we?
I got out of my car. I was like, where'd you bring us?
I thought it was a joke.
Yeah, I was like, where'd you bring us?
It wasn't a joke.
Like, we're gonna die.
Footage came out good, but before we move on, and I know we're about to move on, I just want to tell you guys something.
Oh, you pointed to the camera.
I pointed to the camera. You guys. So whenever you're reaching out to somebody, I have to finish this. Whenever you're reaching out to somebody, okay, and you want to figure out a price and you want to figure out if they're in your budget, lead the conversation with their budget. Start the conversation with, I respect your work. I respect this and that. This is my budget. What can we do? And then you will get a tremendous amount of respect and a lot better quality of work from the people instead of getting passed along to find somebody else that will just do it. So that's my tip.
Fucking pro tip. Love that.
Need it. You need to. You need to.
So transitioning back.
Yes.
Transitioning back to the skincare.
Mm-hmm.
So, you gave us the down low of formulations, everything you're doing. So where are we going? Where's the brand headed? Are you going to eventually do more? Are you just you're just going to keep it for now? You don't have to give up all the plans. Just
not going to give all the details.
Yeah, don't.
But because this was a long time in the making.
Oh, I'm sure.
So even during with COVID and stuff, it was really stressful because manufacturers and things weren't sending out. We were getting like those itty bitty little samples of testing the product.
Like the little half-ounce things.
And I was like, this isn't good. We had to send things back. So
we tried
it took
things for
a
months.
long time. It didn't just happen like that. But the 5 products are your essentials. So that's always going to be there. That's always going to be your first step. Like, these are the 5 products you need, morning and night. That's it. And then everything else is going to be add-ons. So there's going to be serums coming, neck creams, eye creams. All of that is in the making.
In a controlled rollout.
Right.
Yes.
And in addition, because simplified skincare system. I don't want to confuse people. So here's your 5 products. These are your essentials. Everyone starts with this. You have hyperpigmentation. This serum is for you. That's all you need to eat. All you need.
Don't eat the serum. Don't eat the serum. It makes it look tasty. Don't eat the serum. What's that? Lush? Is that soap shop?
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, oh, damn, that bar soap look good.
Yeah, don't eat that.
Yeah, don't eat it.
that.
Don't eat it.
So that's something you need. So it's instead of now your 5 products, here's your 6 products. That's serum. If you have oily skin, that's for you. So it's still going to be simplified that these serums are for that type of skin.
Awesome.
With those 5 products that are for that are always going to be for everyone.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to wrap.
Okay.
So I want you to plug the skincare. I want you to plug your social. How can people get in touch with you? If they have questions, if they want to ask you about anything. Obviously, you're the brand. So just write to the people. Tell them. So
it's DaynaLynn.com is where you can shop all the products. You can follow me on Instagram, DaynaLynn Skincare _. You can send me a direct message. My phone number is on there that goes directly to my phone. I literally have my phone attached to me. So whatever you need, I'm always here. I answer when my phone is with me.
Cool. Stevie D, come on, plug yourself, baby. You're my
Plug
videographer,
myself.
buddy. Plug it. Look at the camera. Plug it. Let's go.
My Instagram is at Nikki Rizzles.
and
It's actually Nikki
find me.
underscore Rizzles. Get it right.
It's weird, man.
Nah, plug yourself. Stevie
It's
D,
weird.
baby. That's my man. If people want to see your work.
All right.
Come on,
you
dude.
can find my work. It's at Luminara Films.
Hey.
And yeah, I mean, I do digital marketing, website development, video, photo, graphic design, you name it.
That's it, baby. So, listen, I want to thank both of you guys for coming
Thank you
on
for
tonight.
having us.
Of course, it's always
Thank
a
you, bro.
pleasure. I
Thank
love
you.
sitting down with real people. You guys are like family, so I always appreciate when we can chop it up, especially on the phone.
Always.
And it was nice to actually get to see you guys in person. But I do have to send you guys back up to the boonies because it's getting late, and I
Yes.
don't want you guys driving where it's too dark out, which it's pitch black right now.
It's pitch black.
It's pitch black.
Why? How
But-
long have we been doing?
2
this?
hours.
Has it been?
It's been 2 hours.
Wow.
That's always the surprise reaction every time I tell people at the end how long we've been going for. So, on that note, episode 34? Episode 34. Yeah.
Wow.
33 last
Congratulations.
one. 34. We're cruising through. Everything's
It's
going
awesome.
well. Yeah, I appreciate everybody rocking with us. And on that note, peace.
Bye.
2 hours exactly.
That's
Wow.
awesome.